There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing? I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Saturday, August 28th, add it to your calendar. The Sports Betting Channel presents To Be Determined. Our new show starts at 8 o'clock out here in San Diego, 11 o'clock in New York, And then we're done just in time for the first game kickoffs for college football. You're going to get 4 totally different slices of sports. Blackhawk West joins us for Saturdays in Canada and some plays for the CFL game. What do you do when the easy sports data is trending in opposite directions? Well, Mo's going to help us decide what to do on Something's Gotta Give. There's also Paulo's plays. Now, if you're not betting soccer, you really should be. And this guy is very, very good. Finally, there's Wake and Bake, where sports betting meets marijuana. Hey, the games start early here in Southern California. Now, 9 o'clock's a lot easier when marijuana is legal. It's like having 4 shows in one. Check it out Saturday, August 28th on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, and on the Sports Betting Channel.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no 2 investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com, or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What are you talking about?
No, it's not him. There is only one more. There is only one More! That's it! One more! Get a rest! No! They saw your team put up zero effort. Wake up!
Remember in the old days, they used to have oxygen for them. Where's the oxygen?
Play like absolute just garbage.
This is the Sports Loudmouths.
Yay!
Man, can you keep it down? I'm trying to introduce here. With Errol Marks, Speedy Petey, and Tyler Harrison.
You're not even a has-been.
You're a never was. You're a never was. You're a never was. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Sports Loudmouths. I'm your host, Errol Marks, and my co-host is not the great Tyler Harrison or the mothball Tyler Harrison. It's the great and powerful Speedy Petey and our special guest in the studio, the BEAV, Mike from Bayshore. Remember, you can listen to our show every single Wednesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. You can call us, Speedy. Come on, Speedy. If you're not going to put it on the thing,
I did.
631-672-3108. Why do you mouth off? Why do you mouth off? Exactly.
You're accusing me of something I did. Okay.
Well, you said something yesterday that you did, but you didn't do it. So I am going to accuse you because it's very easy to accuse you. Anyways, you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Download our app by going to iOS, WWSRN, or Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. What's going on, BEAV?
What's up, baby? I'm back.
Oh, you are back.
Finally.
And Ben finally...
Someone with knowledge other than Tyler.
Oh.
Tyler doesn't know what the hell he's talking about half the time.
Ooh.
Actually 90% of the time.
Shots fired, ladies and gentlemen. We got the BEAV in the studio. We got Speedy Petey making excuses like he always does. So
wow, that's what Speedy does best.
This is going to be a great and fun show lined up for all you fans. Tonight with the BEAV, we're going to go through the NFL. We're going to go through the season. We're going to go through certain games, certain divisions. We're going to go and do our picks. Who do we think is going to come out of the division? Who are going to be the wild card teams? And then obviously we're going to go through the playoffs, and then we're going to make our crazy picks on who's going to the Super Bowl and who's going to win the Super Bowl. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to all the people in Louisiana that got hit by Ida, with the hurricane out there, with losing all their electricity, all the stuff going on down south. This is hurricane season. It's been absolutely horrendous. We've seen many, many different places get destroyed, and we've seen this year in and year out. Unfortunately, over there in Louisiana, they got hit the worst, and
second
I
year in
so
a row.
bad. I really do. I feel
they
so
can't get
bad.
a break though.
Well, it's over there. It's right by the water, and it's very hot over there. And with the humidity and the different currents of the air, and obviously with the ocean and the winters coming late, it's affecting everything. And it's with Antarctica, with Alaska, and everything that's going on. You're seeing what's going on. It's destroying lands in the world. So I want to give a shout out to all the people out there, all the families that have been hurt, some people that have passed away because of that storm. So it's really a shame, and our hearts go out to you guys. And hopefully, if you're sitting over there in a safe place and you listen to the show, I hope you hear. It's really, really sad that's going on over there down south. But before we get into the NFL, how's your mom doing?
She is good.
How's your family doing?
They're all right. They took the COVID shot and they're not feeling too well. So
well, you're not going to feel very well for the first week. And then you feel better. Everybody that's told me after the second shot,
they took the Johnson & Johnson, so it's one shot at once. So.
I wouldn't have taken the Johnson & Johnson.
It's the only shot without that new mRNA, whatever the hell that they put in the shots today. So
yeah, so they decided to go with the one
shot, one and done.
Yeah, that's a shame. Anyways, like I said, we're going to get into the NFL with the BEAV, and then at the end of the show, the last hour, half an hour, 45 minutes, we're going to get into college football. We're going to get into some NBA conversation, and obviously maybe add a little hockey. We'll see what happens. We were supposed to have Gerard join us. Gerard will be joining the show on Wednesday. I will be having my surgery on Wednesday. I don't know if I'll be here for the show. I'm going to try to make it back. I might be in the hospital, but Tyler will be here, and I'll try to get a guest to sit in because I didn't really like the show when Tyler and Speedy were doing the show.
Well, we do have a guest coming on Wednesday anyway. We have Dave. No, we also have Dave Damashek's producer, Eddie Spaghetti, as he likes to call him. Edward Murphy's his real name, but Eddie Spaghetti is coming on.
I can't wait to see this interview.
At 9:30.
I can't wait to see this interview and the craziness that comes out of your mouth. By the way, Brittany says, kind of like his love life, laughing my ass off. Love you, BEAV. How wonderful.
BEAV with the silent E.
What did she talk about? I was just with her about an hour ago.
I don't know what that is. Talking about. Anyways, again, we're going to get into some football. Speedy, do you have some music?
I do.
All right. So what we're going to do, and for all the fans out there, you can call the show like you see on the board right now. The number is 631-672-3108. You can join us in the conversation. We're going to go through each division. We're going to go through the teams and our thoughts through each team. And we're going to make our decisions on what we think their record's going to be. We'll go through some of their games this year and really find, kind of, and Speedy, are you going to keep tabs on this, the records and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Because what we're going to do is by the end of the year, we're going to have like a little bet. And we're going to put something together after the show. And whoever loses, whoever is wrong, has to do something on live radio. Either has to wear something or do something stupid. Okay, This is what we're gonna do because BEAV always thinks that he's right.
Well, not always. I picked it 2 of the last 3 years. I picked everything.
You heard it, guys.
2 out of 3.
He's bragging about it.
2 out of 3 years, I picked it right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our picks throughout the year with the BEAV involved with it. We're gonna have our board, and whoever loses this year, who loses the worst, has to do something silly on this show.
You mean picks against teams or?
Yeah, we're going to do the picks of the week. We're going to do the picks of the week. But whoever, we're going to kind of predict what the records are going to be from each team. And whoever's closest is going to be scot-free. The other two are going to have to do something stupid on live radio. All right. Are we in for that, Speedy?
All righty.
How about you, BEAV? Are you in for it?
Am I in for it?
Yeah, this makes it clear.
Well, I don't know about records. I don't talk like division leaders and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll go through that and we'll kind of
we
can
make it different categories.
Yeah.
We could do who has the most playoff teams, maybe gets a point. Who has the most correct records,
we'll figure that
closest
out.
records. Yeah,
we'll figure that out. But we're gonna go through each team. And we're going to discuss each team and our strengths and the weaknesses of each team. Guys, if you want to get involved, you can call the show. On the bottom, it's pinned on my comment. If you want to call the show, you're more than welcome to join the show and interact with the BEAV. That's why the BEAV is on. I know he has some fans and some people that absolutely can't stand him. All right. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
All right. So we are going to go into the NFC East first, the BEAV's favorite. So BEAV, let's go. You go first.
I'm going first?
You're going first.
All right. So I got the Cowboys winning the division. Then next, I'm going to pick the Redskins. Then the Giants and Eagles are going to be dead last.
That's it? You're not going to talk about the Cowboys this year?
What do you want me to say about the Cowboys?
Well, we're going to go into from each team.
All right, so you want me to talk about the Cowboys?
Yes.
All right, so
that's why you're here.
My biggest concern with the Cowboys is Dak Prescott. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy. He's got the shoulder problem. I don't know how he's going to come back off the ankle injury that he had last year. So, and he hasn't played one preseason game. So,
what does that mean? So, because he hasn't played one preseason game,
he's practiced, but he hasn't gotten He's
getting his reps at practice.
Yeah, I know that, but
they're protecting him.
Game thing is different. It's totally different.
They're protecting him. If anything, it's
good
for
they're protecting him, but he still should have seen at least a couple of snaps in the preseason.
So that's it. That was your whole AFC.
But that's my
whole the NFC. Your whole NFC East. That's all you got to say about the NFC East.
What else you want me to say? The Giants don't have a good quarterback in Daniel Jones. He's not their answer. Barkley, I mean, hasn't played 2 years almost. So
pretty much, yeah.
So you don't know what you're gonna get from him. He's very injury prone. And I mean, the Redskins, they have the best part about them is their defense.
Okay.
So
that's the Bees thoughts of the
There you
NFC
go.
East. Go ahead, Speedy.
All right, so I'm going to take the Giants and the Eagles are going to be tied for last. I kind of like 6-win teams. The Eagles will give the tiebreaker because the Giants always struggle in division. The Eagles with a lot of weaknesses on their defense in particular. No Jim Schwartz anymore, which aided them. So they have a new defensive coordinator. They have a good pass rush. They have Darius Slay, but again, a lot of question marks everywhere else. That offense is a lot of new pieces all at once. It can be good depending on how good this coach is. I think they'll show flashes, but unless they get Deshaun Watson, they're not going to be a playoff team this year. And the Giants, they have strengths on defenses. I think it'll regress a little. They still don't have a great edge rusher. They still don't have a linebacker that can consistently cover. That's a little concerning. That secondary is very good, though. That'll win them some games. But like Beav was saying, that offense is very concerning, especially with Saquon Barkley being up and down with injury. Kenny Golladay, I don't trust to stay healthy either. Washington or the Cowboys, their offense is great. Their defense is horrible. And so they're going to win games against easy teams, NFC South teams maybe, and steal some in this division maybe with the schedule that they have, and some iffy defenses in the AFC West. They'll be like their average 8 or 8-9 in this case, maybe 8-1. Maybe they'll get a tie just to go 8-8. But the Cowboys, they're pretty obvious what their strengths are. They're just overpaying a bunch of players. And Washington, I think, will win the division 9-8, 10-7, something like that. I think the offense has gotten a little bit better. Their defense is obviously loaded. Now they added William Jackson into the mix as well. They had a couple more linebackers to help out that depth. They get Landon Collins back. And the offense got a little better, bringing in Curtis Samuel. Antonio Gibson, a second year in the system, I think will definitely help them. Your fantasy running back, Beav, so you better hope he does well. And I think
fine.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, even though if he won't be great all year, he'll steal some games. So I think Washington wins the division. I'll say 9-8.
Very, very interesting. Okay, my NFC East is pretty simple right now. I think Washington wins the division. I think this year they can win up to 10 games. Their defense is one of the best in the league. I say they could be a top 5, top 6 defense. They have a great pass rush. Their secondary is definitely well improved. Their offense is even better. They bring in Fitzpatrick. I think Fitzpatrick, being that it's a first year playing as the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins, Washington football team, he's going to be a better quarterback than the Washington football team's had since really Kirk Cousins. We look at the quarterbacks they've had. So I really like Washington in this division. I think they're going to be very explosive offensively. They have 2 good wide receivers. They brought one from Carolina in the offseason. So I think they're going to be very explosive as well, and a very good tandem running backs too. So I think Washington is going to be dangerous. I think they win the division either 10 or 9 wins. Second team would be the Cowboys. They could be a wild card team. I don't know what they are. I don't know what Ezekiel Elliott is going to be this year. Zeke looks really, really very good in Hard Knocks. He looks like he lost a lot of weight, very light on his feet. I want to see Zeke really be explosive this year. And Mike McCarthy's offense, we all know about Mike McCarthy's offense. It's not really fit for running backs. It's more for wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, obviously Amari Cooper. We expect these guys to be explosive. But what bothers me right now when you look at the Cowboys is the defense. Their secondary, they have Diggs, a second-year player. We don't know what he is. We don't know what the secondary is going to be. They have a lack of safeties, and their linebackers, they have too many of them. We don't know who's starting, who's not, who's playing, who's not. We know Micah Parsons is going to be explosive, but how good is he going to be in the NFL coming from Penn State? And if he can keep his mouth shut, which I've seen on Hard Knocks, he doesn't know how to do. So that's going to be a huge problem for the Cowboys moving forward. And Mike McCarthy can't get this team in the playoffs for a second year in a row, he's going to be gone. I would say the Giants, the third team in the division. We all know what the Giants are defensively. We know they're going to blitz. We know they're going to. Their strength is in the middle of their defense. Their front seven is very good. Dexter Lawrence is really, really good. We all know about Leonard Williams. He's been very, very good. And we don't know we know what their secondary is. Their secondary is explosive. It's the strongest part of their defense. The problem with the Giants is their offense. Daniel Jones. What is Daniel Jones? Is Saquon Barkley healthy? We don't know where we're going to get the offense. They bring back Evan Ingram. Is he going to be pot hands this year? Is he going to actually catch the ball this year? Then they bring in Golladay. He can't stay healthy. They paid him $76 million in the offseason. And then they drafted some good players, and Tony and different players that they've added, but we don't know what they are. So it's going to take a little while for them to figure themselves out because they barely played in the preseason. So I have the Giants as the third team. And then the fourth team, we all know who the fourth team is, and that is the Eagles. I don't trust the Eagles. They have a rookie coach. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be sometime in the middle of the season. We've been hearing Deshaun Watson. If it is Deshaun Watson, this team could be competitive, but it's not. We all know what's going to happen right now. They get rid of Carson Wentz in the offseason. It made absolutely no sense. They fired their coach that won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. It makes absolutely no sense. And last year they made a big trade for a corner from the Lions, and he played like garbage. It seems like every star corner that goes to the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely botch their position. So I don't know what the Eagles are going to be. Offensively, they look like horrendous. Did you see him against the Patriots in the preseason? They got shut out, 35-0. Horrendous. So I think the Eagles are going to be horrendous. I think they're going to be a top 3 draft pick team this year in this year's coming draft. So I have the Eagles as the worst team in the division. I'd be very surprised if they win more than 4 games.
The NFC East in the preseason looked like the NFC East of last year. Washington was the only team to win a game.
Absolutely. So now we'll go in the AFC East. Go ahead, Beef.
AFC East. All right. Well, with Mac Jones starting with the Patriots, I'm going to start with them. I mean, he was definitely the right fit for that team. I mean, you saw the way he played in preseason and the weapons that he has now around him with the Patriots spending all that money in free agency. I'm going to pick the Patriots to win that division. They'll probably get maybe 11, 12 wins maybe. The Bills are going to finish second place.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I got to cut in for a second. So you think the Patriots are going to win the division because of Mac Jones?
Yes.
That's it.
Mac Jones and
that's it.
And all the weapons he has.
A rookie quarterback.
Yes.
You're going to bet on a rookie quarterback.
Yes, I am.
And I'll tell you this right now. A rookie quarterback that I really like. I think he's a very accurate quarterback. I think he fits. He molds into the Patriots offense. Here's the thing. You have a bunch of players that you brought in free agency.
Yes. Like I just
you
said.
don't know. We don't know if Hunter Henry's going to stay healthy. We don't know if Jonnu Smith is going to stay healthy.
Right now, they're all healthy.
Right now.
Okay,
right now.
So.
And who's their star wide receiver this year?
Who's their star wide receiver?
Who's their star wide receiver this year?
They don't need a star wide receiver.
What do you mean
They'll
they
be
don't
fine.
need? You have a rookie quarterback. You don't have a star wide receiver that can catch the ball. How about this? Do you think what's his name again? Harry
N'Keal Harry, but he wants to be traded. So I don't know how much he's going to play.
So, who do they have that can catch the ball? And here's the bet. Here's another bet. What is this defense going to be in the front seven? They added a lot of pieces in the offseason. Do all these pieces fit defensively for the Patriots going into the season?
Taking a gamble on them.
Whatever.
I'm taking a gamble on them.
That's not a good answer when you're going to bet on a rookie quarterback to
why
do
not?
everything. I think it's crazy.
Why?
I just think it's crazy. Go ahead.
Right. So
Go ahead.
They're going to win that division.
All right.
I'm very intrigued to see how Zach Wilson's going to do with the Jets because everyone knows I'm not a big fan of him. I still think the Jets are stuck with Sam Darnold because they never gave that guy a chance to succeed with the Jets. I mean,
it sure looks right. It looks good for preseason right now. For Carolina.
Yes, he has looked.
He
good.
looks terrible.
Who was Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold's looked terrible.
I didn't watch any games, so
he's looked terrible.
Yeah, but I still think they made a mistake with Sam Darnold because they didn't get a chance to mold him into the player that he should have became with the Jets. But I mean, I like what the Jets did. They added a lot of key players. I mean, they spent their money wisely.
They didn't spend any money.
Well, they spent a little bit.
They saved
value contracts.
Value contracts.
Yes.
They did not spend a lot of money.
Yeah, you want to put it in that terms, fine.
They're going to have $68 million next year.
Yeah, I know they're still going to have a lot of money. But they value their money the right way.
Well, they lost Carl Lawson for the season, so that value was bad.
Yes.
I mean, there were certain players that they brought back or brought in that obviously are not going to be very valued because they're going to miss the whole season.
Yeah. But again, you got another rookie quarterback, and we'll see what he does. I mean,
so you have them
I have
second?
No, I have third.
Okay.
And I
have a second.
Bills.
Okay.
It was really the lot.
Why don't you have the Bills as the number one team in that division?
Because I have the Patriots.
But why? Why wouldn't you pick the Bills to be the number one team? They're the more talented team.
They are the more talented team, but I think Josh Allen's going to fall off a little bit this year than last year.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
So a lot of people are predicting that Josh Allen's going to have the best season of his career, especially what he did last year. You think he's going to fall off?
A little bit.
A little bit. What's a little bit? Tiny bit. If he's a tiny bit, he's
they'll
going to
be in
win
the playoffs, but they're going to fall off. They're going to finish second.
Okay.
So
that's not a good enough answer for me. But okay, go ahead.
They're going to finish second,
Go ahead.
and the Dolphins. I'm very iffy with them. I mean, if Deshaun Watson can somehow land there, that's going to change everything. But it's either them
Even
or
if Deshaun Watson wasn't there, they have added a lot of big pieces to that team. That's still a top defense, and they have an explosive offense now that added Jalen Waddle and some of the players that they've added in the offseason offensively. And they have 2 really good running backs.
Yeah, they do, but I'm not sold on their quarterback at all.
That's fine.
I'm not sold.
How are you sold on a rookie quarterback right now, Mac Jones, hasn't even taken a snap?
He's looked really good in preseason.
Preseason is not the regular season.
Same thing when you said Zach Jones has looked really good too.
What do you mean, Zach Wilson?
Wilson, sorry.
I never said Zach Wilson's going to have a great year.
No, but you said he looked good.
He looked good. That doesn't
And
mean
so
anything.
does Mac Jones. Sure it does.
Yeah. Have you heard Tony Romo speak and preach about Mac Jones like he did about Zach Wilson?
No.
Okay.
Never
So
listened to Romo.
what makes you think that Mac Jones is going to have a better season
I just like
than
the way
Josh Allen?
I just like the way he looked. He looks comfortable. He looks like he belongs. He looks like he fits. And that offense is very simple to run with Belichick. So
okay,
he's going to have a good year.
All right. Go ahead, Speedy.
All right, so number 4, I'm going to take the Jets with a loss and injury. Probably now, I'll say 6-11 team. Their defense is good up the middle, very good when they're healthy. The question is, how healthy will they be? All those guys are a bunch of injury question marks. Solid will help it a little bit, not be atrocious, but it's still not below average defense. The offense will be nice, though. They have a lot of weapons. Great offensive line that they definitely improved. I think Zach Wilson will have a nice year. He'll have some growing pains with turnovers at times, but he was very accurate. So I think they'll be last. They'll be a competitive team. They'll lose some close games here and there, but they'll still be a competitive team. Then I have Miami. I think they're kind of, I'll say 9-8, something like that. Their defense is very good. They added a couple pass rushers. They drafted one in the first round that I think was a bit of a reach in Jalen Phillips. They replaced Kyle Van Noy with Benardrick McKinney, so that kind of cancels out in a way. And Brian Flores will help that defense out a lot. The offense is where I have a little bit of more question marks. That backfield, Myles Gaskin comes back, but they don't really have much depth after that. Their receivers got better, but they're also very injury prone. And I think there are a little bit more pressure on them with the quarterback situation. If they get Watson, they might be the second team or third team in the playoffs from this division. But right now, I'm going to have them as one of the teams out. Patriots are second for me. They definitely improved a lot. I have them as a wild card team. I'm not as high on Mac Jones as we know, as a lot of people, but I still think the offense will obviously be better than last year, and the defense will get much better too with the players. A lot of the players coming back. That secondary is still very strong. I have them as a wild card team, but yeah, Buffalo is going to win the division. They got better in the offseason. I think their running backs will make some strides this year. They were a little down last year because of injury. Josh Allen, I disagree with you, BEAV. I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll be just fine. They added a couple pass rushers too, of which I really like in this year's draft. That'll help their defense a lot too. I don't think they'll be a 13-3 team like they are last year because the division's better, but I still think they're the best team by a pretty good margin. They're good experience and very well coached.
First of all, I'm reading what Snug says. He said Tony Romo said that Sam Darnold also was going to be a top 5 quarterback and not super credible. First of all, he never compared Sam Darnold to Patrick Mahomes and Dan Marino. Never. He compared Zach Wilson to Dan Marino last week at a golf tournament and this week to Patrick Mahomes. So I know what he said. He said that Sam Darnold could be a top 5 quarterback in the future. Could be. He said that Zach Wilson in the next 2 to 3 years will be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. That's different. So I understand what you're saying, Snug, but he absolutely explained it differently. And I actually said that the other day about what he said about Sam Darnold. He was iffy with Sam Darnold. He's not iffy with Zach Wilson. He was very sure of himself. Okay? My number 1 team in the division in the AFC is the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are going to be very explosive this year. They're going to have even a better running game this year with the additions that they've made. Their offensive line is as good as any offensive line in football. Josh Allen, last year having a breakout season, made a lot of money this offseason. He's making he's the highest paid guaranteed money quarterback in the NFL, even over Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be out there. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I expect him to be very explosive. I'm not a big fan of Diggs, but Diggs played very well last year. Very explosive in fantasy. I think he's going to be even more explosive with some of the weapons that they added in the offseason for them. So I think they're going to be very fun to watch. I also believe their defense is going to be very, very good, too. They were the number 3, number 4 ranked defense in all of football this year. I think they're going to be ranked even higher this year with some of the help that they added in the offseason, too. So I think the Buffalo Bills could win 12 to 13 games this year with the extra game added to their schedule. Number 2 is the Patriots. I'm high on Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones will be a good quarterback in this league. But I don't think this year he's going to make a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And even though it fits, and he's going to fit that offense like a glove because he's an accurate thrower, and you know what Belichick likes to do, those short passes. You like to use the running backs in those short pass plays, and we've seen it, the pitches that he throws in the backfield. So I expect him to do a lot with Mac Jones in that way. It worked for Tom Brady. I believe it'll work for Mac Jones. The problem with the Patriots is the additional players that they've added this offseason, the injury-prone players that they've added this offseason, and some of the defensive players that they added this offseason have to get affiliated and understand the defense. And that takes a little while because Bill Belichick's defense is very much all about the corners and what the corners play, and that brings up the front seven and makes the front seven be more aggressive. If the corners aren't playing well this year, it will affect the front seven this year, even though the front seven is definitely better than they were last year. So I like the Patriots this year. I think the Patriots win 10 games, 11 games. They sneak into the playoffs as a wild card team. The number 3 team, I think it's the New York Jets. I think Zach Wilson, as the season progresses, I know there's some lack of defensive help on the edges. Absolutely. I think the Jets aren't done. I think that if the Jets are anywhere close to a playoff contending team at the trade deadline, they'll look for an edge rusher and try to add one with all the draft stock that they have. But I think the Jets are going to be very explosive offensively. I think they have good tight ends. Quality Croft is going to be a very good tight end for a blanket for a guy like Zach Wilson. I mean, Corey Davis is one of the best red zone guys in the league. You got Crowder. You have, obviously, Elijah Moore. Speed, I don't need to correct me, so don't even try to step in. Yeah, but you're about to because you were trying to fill into the thing. So, and I like their running back play. I like Michael Carter. I also like Coleman. I think they're going to be explosive. I want to see a little bit more Piron. A lot of people said that Johnson's looked the best for the running backs for the New York Jets this offseason, the preseason. So they have a 4-headed monster. Eventually, we're going to see a 2-headed monster. I believe Michael Carter will win that job one way or another this year. But the offensive line's much better with Elijah Vera Tucker. Mekhi Beckham has to stay healthy and he has to play better. And on the other side, you added Moses. You have so many different ways to fill in those spots, in those guard spots. This is going to be a much improved offensive line, a top 10 offensive line in football this year. So that's what I think. Defensively, it scares me. The secondary is very weak. I believe Quinton Williams is going to have an all-pro year. I think it's going to be so fun to watch. I also believe I think Rankins is going to be a Pro Bowl player too this year. So I think their middle is very, very strong. Their linebacking core, we know what C.J. Mosley is. We're not going to see Davis until probably sometime in the 5th or 6th week. And some of these young guys, I want to see some of these young guys and how they develop under Robert Saleh's defense. I think this defense is going to be a lot better, even with the injuries that they have, because I think Robert Saleh is going to hide the deficiencies and the weaknesses. So I think the Jets will win 6 to 7, maybe even 8 games this year. On a good year, maybe even win 9. So I'm predicting 7 to 8. And on a good, if it's a great year, they win 9 games. And the Miami Dolphins. I think Miami's going to be good this year. What scares me about Miami is Tua. And the reason why is injury. He had hip replacement. We don't know how strong his arm is. And even though I think Jalen Waddle is going to be very explosive in this league, Parker's a pretty good wide receiver in this league. And I think their defense is one of the best, one of the top 10, one of the top 11 defenses in football, even losing some of the players that they lost in the offseason, Van Noy being one of them, going back to the Patriots. I still think Miami will be infectious and fun to watch, and they have one of the best coaches, young coaches, in Brian Flores. But I don't trust Tua, and that's going to be the problem. I don't think the Miami Dolphins will win more than 7 games this year in the division. So Miami is the worst. All right. AFC, we'll go AFC North.
AFC North. That's going to be a good division because you got Browns, Ravens, and Steelers are all going to be good this year. Bengals going to finish dead last. I mean, I really don't know too much about the Bengals right now. I didn't do my research on them yet, but this is Big Ben's healthy right now for the Steelers, so that's going to be very interesting to see how he does. I think this is probably his last year. Let's see if Juju Smith can keep his head on straight and not cause any problems in the locker room, because that guy is a complete head case. So he's probably going to be like the number 2 receiver on that team. I'm curious to see how the defense is going to play. And if they can stay healthy and keep the Steelers in the game, they'll probably finish third, the Steelers. I got them finishing 3. I mean, it all depends on if Big Ben can stay healthy or not, because he is older, and like you said, it's probably his last year. It's his last go around. That's all I have on the Steelers, really. The Browns, I mean, Baker, let's see how he holds up. They'll probably win the division. Actually, no, scratch that. The Ravens are going to win that division. Lamar Jackson's probably going to have a better year. He just needs to learn how to throw the ball a little bit better. He's very good on his legs. And their defense, what were they ranked? 2 last year? 3?
The Ravens?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were third.
Probably
They were third. I think
top.
they were 4th pass defense, like 10th round or something.
Yeah, so they'll probably stay around the same. I mean, they have a lot of good weapons. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. They'll probably win about maybe 12, 13 games. The Browns probably be number 2, and Steelers will be 3. But the Steelers could be a surprise team. They could sneak up there if they stay healthy.
You got Browns and Steelers as playoff teams, BEAV, or one or the other?
I got Browns and Ravens as playoff, but I'm curious to see how the Steelers do with Big Ben and probably his last year.
All right, before I get to mine, I'll just read some of the comments. Snug says, Cowboys suck. We know Micah Parsons will have a chance to meet with Jerry Jones' attorneys. Tony Romo said, you read that already. Bills hands down in the AFC East. Belichick keeps it simple for Jones and brings him along. Didn't Salah, 3 weeks ago, to say not to expect much from Zach Wilson?
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
That's
not what he said. So I'll tell you what he says after we go through this.
All right, Sam Brooks says Miami will not finish 4th. That's the Jets spot. Snug is a bet for you two, I guess. Jets versus Cowboys for total wins. Loser has to spend the weekend at Kenny's house.
Oh,
that's his servant. Carl says Miami infectious. What are they going to give?
I already answered him.
Yeah, and mainly your responses after that. And then Snug says, well, LMAO BEAV's show prep is impeccable. AFC North, yeah, I got the Bengals last.
Snug can kiss my ass, all right? He wants to come to New York, tell him to come to my house, and, I'll give him a surprise.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals last as well. Their defense still has a lot of question marks. Their offensive line still has a lot of question marks. The skill players are very good. I think Mixon will bounce back and have a nice year. Those 3 receivers will get their reps. I think Shamar Chase, he had a rough preseason so far. I know a lot of people worried about him. I think he'll come along later in the season, but he's going to be very good when he comes along later in the season. And then they still got Boyd. I think Higgins regresses a little, but will still be very effective. That defense is pretty good in the front 7, but their corners definitely worry me. Yeah, they lost William Jackson in the offseason. They lost Drake Kirkpatrick, a lot of their veteran guys. They're really relying on a lot of newer corners. They brought in the former Cowboy Awuje and the former Giant, Sour Apples, we like to call them. They're trusting that to be their secondary. Jesse Bates is very good. Yeah, Jesse Bates is good, but again, that defense is still a lot of patching together. So the Bengals will be last. I think probably, I'll say 5-12 team. Next, I have the Steelers. I think they'll be kind of average. I'll say 8-9. There are a lot of question marks with that defense still, even though a lot of people like their defense with their pass rush. They lost Bud Dupree in the offseason. I mean, I wouldn't have paid him $21 million a year either, like Tennessee did, but still, that's still a lot of question marks. They get Devin Bush back, but how good will he be? Minka Fitzpatrick is really carrying that secondary, which is going to be very hard. They still got the front, which is nice, but still not great. The coaching will help a little, but not by much. And the offense, again, there's just a lot of question marks. How good is Najee Harris going to be? How good is that offensive line going to be? They lost a lot in the offseason, a lot of injury issues. Like Beav was saying, Big Ben, how will he come back? He's had a lot of injury issues, and he shows lack of arm strength from last year from what he's been.
But if they stay healthy, they could surprise a lot of people.
They'll be pesky. I don't know if they'll be good enough in this division. So I'm going to have them third. I'll say 8-9. Second, I have the Ravens. I have a flip-flop from you. The only thing that concerns me now is the injuries with these skill players. We're going to have 2 receivers out for the first 3 weeks. Yeah, you don't have much else with the other receivers. Dobbins out for the year now, so you got a lot of new running backs. Now, granted, the Ravens are one of those teams that always figure out running backs. They have a new guy break out every year, ever since Ray Rice and all his issues. It seems like they always have a new running back. It was Justin Forsett, then it was Alex Collins, and they had a couple others in between. So they always have a new guy, but how long will that take to happen? That defense is still very good. Little bit of question marks with the outside pass rushers because they lost Matt Judon and also Yannick Ngakoue, and they didn't really replace it with anybody obvious. That's the only concern with their defense, but they're still going to be very good. So I have them as a wild card team. I'll say 11-6, and Cleveland wins the division. I think this is one of the more complete teams in the entire NFL right now. They got a lot better on defense, a lot of good depth. I like the signing of Anthony Walker. They got some secondary pieces back with Grant Delpit, their second-round pick safety, and Greedy Williams. And their other corners played all right for them last year at times. Denzel Ward even, too, was hurt, and he's going to get
Still
better
don't trust
well.
Baker. The guy makes a lot of mistakes.
I don't love Baker either, but I think, again...
Tell you somebody who does. Tyler Harris.
Yeah.
The guy makes a lot of mistakes. I just don't trust him.
This offense has aided his role a little bit. He's not going to be flashy. He's not going to be like a
He doesn't
top-
have to be.
He doesn't be flashy.
Right, exactly. That's
Look
my
at the
point.
weapons that he has.
I know he has
Exactly.
tons of weapons, but
Right.
he's still. I don't trust him.
I trust the coaching though to get him through that. Get him through this. They got the great running game. They have new tight ends that emerged, new receivers that emerged last year, and that helps them out a lot. They don't have to force feed all these targets like we saw him do in his second year in the league, where he was either force feeding Odell or force feeding Njoku at times, and then it's just a bad game planning all around. Granted, Freddie Kitchens is a terrible coach, but still,
Of course.
I think the Browns are really one of the more complete teams in the AFC and in the whole league right now. I'm winning the division, number 2 seed in the AFC, 12-5.
AFC North. I've got the Pittsburgh Penguins dead last
Penguins.
this year.
Ooh.
Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm sorry. The Pittsburgh Steelers this year being dead last.
Wow.
Ben Roethlisberger is a little bit old, and even though they have the weapons that they have, they added Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris is going to be explosive.
He is
Could
gonna
be
be-
Offensive Player of the Year this year. I think it's going to be fun to watch. Devin Bush is going to be healthy this year. The defense might be a little bit better. They added Melvin Ingram in the offseason. Even Trey Turner, they added him, another Charger, who a lot of people thought was going to be a very good guard. They lost a lot of offensive line help this offseason. Their offensive line could be weaker than they have been over the years. Their offensive line, which has been one of the strongest offensive lines in football, is not the same offensive line going into the season. Juju Smith-Schuster took a lesser contract, but the other wide receivers, the Johnsons of the world, the Pools of the world, right? It's Pool.
Claypool.
Yes. All the different weapons that they have. I think you're going to see a lot of back and forth banter on the sidelines. We've seen this over the years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we know what the coach is all about over there. He doesn't know how to control his players. We've seen this year in and year out over there, and I think he's going to have a huge problem this year because Ben Roethlisberger's older. He can't control the other players. And then if Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt, who's their backup quarterback? Dwayne Haskins. So I don't trust Dwayne Haskins either. And TJ Watt, he's a great player and great defensive player. I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Do you think Tomlin's done after this year?
He just got a 3-year extension. I do. I think he's going to get fired.
Wow.
I absolutely believe he's going to get fired.
Wow.
I think they just did it to make Tomlin very excited or very happy going into the season that he's taking care
Do you
of.
think they did it just to keep Ben happy for one more year?
I don't know because I don't know if Tomlin and Ben actually get along.
along, really.
So I don't know. So Steelers, I don't think the Steelers win more than 7 games this year. As last year they won, I think 12 games or something. I don't think they're winning more than 7 games this year. I think they're going to be really bad. My third team is the Bengals. Joe Burrow's coming back. The weapons that they have, Chase. We've seen what they can do offensively. They have Mixon, who's one of the best, more underrated running backs in the league. You have Boyd over there, Higgins. This is going to be explosive offense. Their offensive line is a little bit better. I thought they were going to go in free agency and make some huge moves. They didn't do that. They drafted some good offensive linemen, but they're rookies. And we all know what Jonah Williams is. He can't stay healthy. So this is an offensive line that hasn't stayed healthy, and that's why Joe Burrow's towards ACL. His ACL and all his knee last year. Coming back as fast as he is and bragging that he is, I hope he stays on his feet and is protected so he can make the throws. I think he's going to be very exciting this year. I think this offense is going to be one of the best in the league. But their defense is what scares me. Their defense, which has been their strength year in and year out since the beginning, this defense is not. They're old, raggedy. We don't know what this team is defensively. Their front seven, which has been their strength for years, is really their weakness, and their secondary is their strength. Who would have thought that? I think this defense is going to be really, really bad, and we don't know what this coach is all about. So I'm going to say the Bengals are the third team. I think they win, in a good year, 8 or 9 games with the 17 games this year, 17 games that they have to play this year. So Bengals, number 3. Number 4, number 2, the team that is going to be a wild card team, absolutely, is the Cleveland Browns. I do not think the Cleveland Browns are going to win the division. As good as they are, as stacked as they are, with the running game, Chubb, Hunt, Odell Beckham healthy, Landry, I think they're still going to have problems over there, even with the coaching. When Odell is on the field, we all know there's problems, and he needs to control the ball. And that's going to be a huge problem with all the weapons they have. They're clearly the most talented team in this division, but talent doesn't sell everything. So I think Cleveland is good. And their defense, they're loaded. They added Clowney in the offseason. We all know how healthy they are. Their secondary is as strong as any in the league with the 3 or 4 corners that they have. They have 2 really good safeties. They're going to be fun to watch in both sides of the ball. I just think that with the young coach that they have over there who did very well last year, and with the team being healthy that they are, they're going to have to give the ball to many different people, and one person wants to control the ball more than anybody, and that's Odell Beckham, and he's healthy this year. That's going to cause a lot of problems in the locker room, especially when they lose. No, I think he's going to stay healthy this year. I think he's going to have a good season. And the number one team is the Ravens. I think the Ravens, they're very, very good defensively sound. In the offseason, they added some pieces. They had a very good draft. They always do. They have a very good quarterback. When he is on his feet, he can run and he can do a lot of things. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the regular season. He's one of the worst in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to win any championship this year with Lamar Jackson, but what he does in the regular season, it controls the line of scrimmage. It controls the time. And, running game with the running game, especially when it gets cold and everything like that, I expect the Ravens to be explosive this year offensively as long as Andrew stays healthy. So I think the Ravens are going to be fun to watch. Defensively, they're fun, explosive. They have a great secondary, one of the best secondaries in football, and their front seven is just fun to watch. So I have the Ravens, and I think the Ravens win 11 games this year. They win the division, and they move on to the playoffs and probably lose in the first round.
All right, before we get to the next division, we have a caller.
What do we got?
Is it possible the Dallas Cowboys can win the AFC North?
Jeff, I thought you had a date.
Yeah, we just finished up at Ocean Prime, and so I'm on my way home.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, well 7:30 dinner.
7:30.
It's 2 hours. How long can I talk to someone?
You hanging out with her after? I mean, usually.
No. She's got to work tomorrow.
All right. Was it a good date?
Yeah, it was fine. Whatever. They just mumble about shit that I don't give a shit about. She does. Do you know what microblading is?
No. What's microblading? Oh, wait a second. I do with the face, right? Microblading is.
Dude, it's basically like that's what this chick does, by the way. She works in the doctor's office doing microblading, right? And so it's basically when stupid broads want like tattooed on eyebrows.
That's right. They make a lot of money too. They do very well.
I've become an expert tonight in microblading because I've had to listen to this chick babble about it in 2 hours.
That is funny, man. That's funny. So we're talking about the AFC North. The BEAV thinks the Ravens are going to win the division. I do too. I got
the Cowboys.
The Cowboys we went through the NFC East, and he has the Cowboys winning the division. He does. What did you pick the record to be?
Probably 10, 8.
Yeah,
9,
I think you said 10.
Somewhere around there.
10 games? Do you think 10 games, Jeff, is going to win that division?
It's a shitty division right now. So, yeah, 10 games should win
it. It kind of is, but I actually like Washington, and 10 wins isn't unreasonable considering 8-8 used to be like the division winner. There's an extra game. If they can win that extra game, 10 wins is not unreachable.
No, I agree with you. I think that the division, I really think that whoever wins this division, the division could win 11 games because I do believe that when you look at the Washington Redskins, the Washington football team, I think they're going to win the majority of the 6 games that they're playing in the division. I think they're going to win 5, maybe even 6 games in this division. I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys defensively are going to be sound this year, and that's going to be a huge problem as it moves forward. And if anybody gets hurt,
they got to be better than last year.
They'll be better than what's that saying? I mean, they're
terrible. I mean, how hard is that? Your boy led the league in fumbles last year.
I understand that. They were terrible.
Your other boy was wearing his foot on backwards last year.
Yeah.
Well, I expect Dak Prescott to have a good season. I do.
I'm worried about him.
I think
it's a bad start to the season when you can't even figure out which way to wear your foot.
How many wins do you think the Cowboys win this year?
I don't. What division do they play?
NFC South and AFC West.
So the South, which is pretty soft, they should beat Houston for sure. They should beat.
No, NFC South. NFC South, not AFC
NFC South. Yeah, still another kind of soft division. They can beat Carolina. The only team they can't beat in that division is probably Tampa. And even then against Tampa, I said this to Errol B before you get mad. I even said this to him. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady stinks at the beginning of the season. He's a slow starter, so the Cowboys got a shot opening night.
He thinks the Cowboys are going to win that game.
I don't know.
I didn't say that either, but I said they have a shot. If you
we said he has a shot. I mean, yeah.
No, if you look at Tom Brady historically, and I get most of that history is with the Patriots. people declare them dead every year after 4 weeks because they're 2-2 or 1-3 or something like that, right?
Yep.
Tom Brady's a slow starter. Dallas could get him week 1.
So he did.
They could, but I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. But it's a more winnable game than say if they played week 15.
Yes, that's agreeable. Sure.
So we both. So Jeff, you have Washington winning the NFC East.
I have
do.
Washington.
So do I.
I like the defense.
Yeah,
I think their defense.
I said that
is
their
very
defense
good.
is the best in that division right now.
100%. Name me a bigger beast on defense, right? Like I actually believe this, and I realize this is going to be one of the BEAV hot take kind of things where you say something crazy, right? Dude, I realize Aaron Donald also plays defense. I think Chase Young might be the best defensive player in the league.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, he surpassed Zayvon Collins, Jeff.
Zayvon Collins is already in the Hall of Fame.
Hasn't played one game, and he's got him in the Hall of Fame already.
Jeff's got the tickets printed.
You know I'm doing this just for your benefit, right? Like that's what that's about, right?
I know. But, okay, so you have Washington. Who's the second team?
Dallas. Yeah, for sure, Dallas. So the other 2 teams are
the Giants and the Eagles.
Like that.
Yeah.
You can't win with an Alabama quarterback, and that's what Jalen Hurts is.
Well, don't say that because your team has an Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, but we have a coach that might be able to overcome having an Alabama quarterback.
I picked them to win the division.
He
Patriots.
did. All right, so you got that. So what do you have in the AFC? Who do you have winning the division, and who do you have going dead last?
What in which AFC?
AFC East. AFC. I'm going through the divisions that we went through.
I can't, dude. I don't care. You call me a homer. You can go. You can bite me. Patriots win. Defense, baby.
How many games to win?
I actually think they can get to 12 wins.
I said that. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, I don't know about 12.
And by the way, I'm also the same one last year. Before you go, that's crazy. I called the 7-9 season last year. What were they?
7-9.
7-9. The Patriots don't have necessarily one of the hardest schedules. Like that whole division, they play the same schedule essentially, other than that extra game, and it's not the hardest.
No.
So I think they can get to 12 wins.
Well, their division is pretty hard. I mean, the Bills are good. The Dolphins are going to give them problems, and the Jets will always give the Patriots.
Dude, they were 7-9 with a quarterback. Dude, Cam Newton shouldn't even be allowed to have hands to throw a football. There's a reason why I think Cam asked for his release. I think they said Mac Jones, the starter, he was like, get me out of here. And you don't see anybody jumping to sign him, do you?
No, I don't
No
think
one's lining up to sign him, are they?
No.
He was the worst quarterback in the league last year. Name a worse one.
Andy Dalton.
No, Andy Dalton even.
Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton did a fine job in a bad situation.
I'm joking.
Sorry.
I'm joking.
In a bad situation.
So How dare you come for Ginger Hurts? How dare you?
All right, so you got Patriots number 1. Who's your number 2 team in the NFC East?
Buffalo.
Why is that?
Josh Allen is the most underrated quarterback in the league.
Interesting. And you thought he was going to have a bad season.
I didn't say bad season.
Everyone talks about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, and he's only good because he runs. Josh Allen had more rushing touchdowns.
Listen, when you're saying somebody's taking steps back, it's a bad season. You're supposed to take steps forward. You said that Josh Allen's going to take steps back.
He's not going to have the season he had last year.
So that means
down season, not
he's
bad.
having a bad season.
Josh Allen is an emerging superstar. Sorry, he's a top.
I didn't say
Josh
bad
Allen
season.
Is a top 10 quarterback easily.
Okay, so you have Buffalo. How many wins?
I'd say Buffalo gets 11.
Okay, your third team in the division.
Oh, your Miami Dolphins.
That's not mine.
It was a trick.
It's not tricking me. I know what he already told me.
Speedy sniffed it out. He's smarter than you.
I don't know about that. I know exactly where you were going with that. Smart ass. Anyways,
listen, I don't think the top of the division is a little muddy because I think the Patriots are going to be good. The Bills are going to be good. Like that kind of. The bottom of the division, I think, is a little easier because I think Miami was a pretty good team last year. I think they got a little better.
They don't have a quarterback.
The Jets certainly got better, but they're starting from a 2-win season.
Yeah.
The Dolphins were a 10-win team last year or something, 11-win team.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. it wouldn't make sense to me to just say, oh, the Jets,
No,
they got Elijah Vera Tucker. They're going to be amazing.
No, I think they're going to be much better than they were, obviously, and I don't think this was the year.
I don't. I think their injuries on defense are going to hurt them.
Well, we talked about that already. So you have the Dolphins winning how many games?
15.
No, you just had them in third place. They're not winning 15. How many games? 9, 8, 10?
Yeah, probably around 9 wins.
Okay, and the Jets 7, 6.
Oh no! I have them winning 3 football games.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't think they're going to
3 football games.
Figured that's what you're at. All right, AFC.
And 2 of them are going to be by COVID forfeit.
All right. Your NFC North. Who do you got winning the division? Obviously, AFC North. Who do you got winning in the division?
I got Cleveland.
Wow.
Cleveland.
I'll take the Cleveland Steamers. Yeah, they're terrific.
Okay, and what is their record?
I think Cleveland can get to 13 wins.
13 wins. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Who do you have second?
I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Baltimore wins.
Let's just say 11.
Okay.
I don't know what their schedule. I don't have their schedules, and I'm not
fine.
looking at
You
it.
can.
So, like, I'm literally just throwing darts. At
That's
things.
fine.
AFC West and NFC North for them.
You're pretty
Right,
much
but
on
I'm
target.
just throwing darts. Really,
You're pretty
you
much
know?
on target on what we're all predicting what the records are going to be. Okay, who do you got third and fourth?
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh and then Cincinnati.
That's what I had.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh dead last this year.
But I had Baltimore winning the
I think the
division.
Bengals are going to be a lot better than anybody thinks they're going to be this year. I think they're going to be explosive offensively. They might even squeak out wins that nobody expects them to squeak out. So, as Joe Burrow stays healthy, they're going to be in a lot of these games.
It's a big if.
Yeah, if they can keep him on his feet.
They still have no offensive line. They didn't really address it.
No, but they are a little bit better offensive on the offensive line this year. Not
Then
much.
what?
What do you mean? Then what? They were better from what they were last year. They're much better. I mean, last year they had 3 guys on a line that were third-tier
They're a
players.
pile of steaming dog eater do.
Well, Williams is playing this year. He's healthy. They've got some pieces. It's not like they're completely terrible. All right, let's go into the NFC South. BEAV.
NFC South. Well, obviously with the Tampa Buccaneers, they have the same team back, so they're going to win a division. I mean, there's nothing really to say about them. Super Bowl contenders, champions. They'll win a division easily. Probably 13, 14 games. Then I don't even know who I'm picking.
Do it to him, BEAV. Do it to him. Put it on him.
No.
You're the Sultan of coleslaw. Put it on him.
The Sultan of coleslaw.
Or as Snug likes to say, the Princess of Pickle Loaf.
I can't.
The Prince of Potato Salad. Put it on him.
Next, I'm going to go with Carolina
do it to
Panthers.
him. Do it to him,
Carolina
BEAV.
Panthers are finishing second.
Wow. What
Yes.
Yes,
Do it
they
to
are.
him.
Sam Darnold. I'm telling you right now. Watch.
Yes.
Watch. You guys got
He's
weapons.
the
They got
resemblance
a
of
running
He-Man.
back. I'm telling you right now, Carolina Panthers will be number 2.
Resemblance of what?
Carolina Panthers will finish
No,
second.
what Jeff said.
Oh.
Resemblance of what?
Oh, God. And
He
I'm
looks
gonna,
like He-Man.
He-Man. Then I'm going to go with
The Sultan of coleslaw.
then I'm going to go with the Falcons, and the Saints are going to be dead last.
Ooh, Saints dead last.
Saints dead last.
Yes, they don't have a quarterback.
Oh, come on.
No quarterback.
They have Kamara. They still have Michael Thomas. They're there.
They have Jameis Winston throwing them the damn
That's
ball.
fine.
He sucks.
They have a good offensive line. Their defense is very good.
Winston is not good.
It doesn't matter.
They're going to lose a lot of games because of all of his turnovers that he's going to throw.
I think they're going to win a lot more
Nope.
than you think they're going to.
Nope.
All right, Speedy.
All right, before I get to mine, I'll just read some of the comments. Snug says, LMAO, the surprise at the BEAV's house is what got him on the MEC2 list. Carl says, this guy making a lot of mistakes, referring to Baker Mayfield as BEAV speaking in the second person. Snug says, this is the best time to get fired right after the afternoon extension. Carl says, Browns were still a play away from beating Chiefs. There were a couple things away from beating the Chiefs. Errol, you said that the Ravens will win the division with 11 wins?
Yes, 11 wins.
Cowboys win 10 games. Jesus. Snug says, is Dak Prescott planning on putting his foot on backwards again this year? Carl says, scam
Probably.
Newton. Snug says, the Cowboys were pretty excited about Newton for a minute when he got cut. The Dolphins are better than people think. Carl says Dolphins 9-8 and 6-11.
Didn't they just sign Will Greer, though?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
And then Jets.
So they passed on Cam.
Yes, for a backup.
Think about this. Think about this. A team that employed Cooper Rush doesn't think Cam Newton can play quarterback.
Carl also says Jets 6-11 at best. Snug says
That's what
element.
I think in a bad year it's 6-11. In a good year they win 8. That's what I think.
Snug says LMAO look like Earl is headed to Kenny's house. Carl says Jamar Chase struggling to catch. Snug says
hold on.
emojis.
Jamar Chase. This is preseason.
Right.
Preseason. I'm telling you, Jamar Chase is not going to struggle throughout the season.
No, he's
catching the ball.
He's going to be good.
He's going to be fun to watch.
Very good.
So I think you guys are going out of your mind thinking that because preseason, it means Jamar Chase is going to be a bust.
Snug says the mayor of macaroni salad. And Ben giving us a upset alert. Minnesota ahead of Ohio State 14-10 in the third quarter right now.
It is an upset.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know. Terrible.
All right. So
I laid 14 points in that game. I'm cooked.
Yeah, that's not good, Jeff. That is not good. All right, so NFC South, last place for me is the Falcons. Their offense is nice, but they're very one-dimensional. Their running game, I still don't really trust. Mike Davis has his flashes here and there. He's on, I think, his 6th team already in his career, but he's anything special. Those backup running backs, nothing special. Their passing game's good, but that's about it. So they're last, probably, I'll say a 5-12 team. The Panthers, I think, will be third. They're going to be a good team. I think they're going to hang around. I'll say 8 wins for them. They're going to be a lot better because they were, like Jeff, like you were saying about the Jaguars, the Panthers were another team that played a lot of close games and played well against good teams. So I think they'll get better. I think they got better on defense. I love the pick of J.C. Horn. Douglas. Sorry, Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin had a great year. I almost said Joe Douglas. Sorry. They got Shaq Thompson still. Nice front seven they got. And then
see how nobody cuts you off when you make a mistake? Maybe you should learn how to do that.
The BEAV was the one to cut you off earlier.
No,
I didn't cut him off.
You like to step in when I make a mistake.
I think I asked him a question. I didn't cut him off.
Spit out.
Dude, if people stepped in every time you made a mistake, there wouldn't even be a show.
Yeah. Kiss my ass. You're like doggy doo-doo, okay? Now go ahead.
The offensive line should be a little better, I think. I think the second year of Matt Rule's system, it'll be a lot better for these receivers, and McCaffrey being back, I think, is the big deal. So the Panthers, I think, 8-9. They'll be third place. Saints are still second. I don't think they'll be last, BEAV. They'll still be a good team. They're one of my first teams out of the playoffs. That defense is still good, but it got a lot worse losing Sheldon Rankins.
They don't have a quarterback.
Losing Trey Hendrickson. Yes, but I think Sean Payton will
We've seen teams win without top eight.
Jameis Winston is not good.
Jameis isn't that bad. You make it
not
seem
that
like
good.
But you're making him out to be horrible.
I'm not saying he's horrible. He's just.
They can win with Jameis.
The guy turns over the ball.
They have Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. And Kamara is going to be very good. But the problem is they just don't have a lot of depth, and that's the only thing that concerns with the Saints' offense.
And they're still missing Michael Thomas too.
Michael Thomas, we'll see if he's there the whole season. Right now, he's going to play, so I think they'll win some games early in the season. They'll be competitive, and I think they'll be one of the first teams out. That defense scares me a little just because they lost the pass rush they did, and their secondary depth is still not great. So I'll say 9-8, second place, and then the Buccaneers will win the division. I think they're the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're very complete. 13-4, I'll say for them. Like Jeff was saying, they might start a little slow, but I think they'll get it going later. That team is just so complete, and really they didn't get any worse. So,
but they're older. They're an older team. And all it takes is one injury, and that could really affect that
goes
team.
for any team.
But they're an old team. Their defense, their front seven, they've got 3 older players on that defense. They have their offense. Yes, Mike Evans. They have obviously young wide receivers on that team. Godwin's young, but then they have Gronkowski. They have
but Gronkowski's more of a blocker now.
Fournette, who can't stay healthy ever. And if they
Don't
lose
matter.
him,
They're getting that other tight end back too. No, the kid they lost the second week of the season.
yeah, they're going to lose their number 1 pick, the first-round draft pick from
Howard.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Howard.
So who?
Howard.
Yeah. OJ Howard. Yeah.
So I got the Falcons, the Falcons rookie coach, Matt Ryan. This team is going to be offensively explosive. Kyle Pitts is going to have a great year. I think he's going to be fun to watch, but they don't have Julio Jones, damn. And obviously Calvin Ridley is going to have to take a step forward. And last year when he added, he was the number 1 guy at one point of the year. He didn't take 2 steps forward. He took 2 steps back. So I don't know what this team offensively is going to be. I think the coach is going to help them offensively with his new schemes. And their running game is always good. I don't know what it's going to be, but we saw what this team was when they were fully complete offensively. Defensively, I think the Falcons are going to be horrible. They've been horrible. They need to add some offensive help. They did it in the draft somewhat, But for some reason, drafting as high as they did, they went after offensive players. It made absolutely no sense. So the Falcons won't win more than 4 to 5 games. So I think they're right where they were last year. The Panthers are definitely the third place team. I don't think they're winning 8 games. I think they'll start off very strong like they did last year.
Bias.
No, I'm not being biased. I think they're going to start. Okay, whatever. I'm biased. I think they're winning.
Do you know how
I think they're
majestic
losing.
he's going to look in that uniform?
I think he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose his first game against the Jets. Okay, so
he throws for 403 tutters.
All right, I can't wait until you're wrong about that.
403 tutters.
I can't wait until I laugh in your face. But anyways, I don't think the Panthers are going to win more than 7 games this year. I think they have some good offensive players on that team. I don't know what Robbie Anderson is. He played very well last year. We don't know what he's going to be a second year with Sam Darnold. He played well with Sam Darnold over there, but he also talked crap about Sam Darnold when he went over there to Carolina. I don't know if that's going to affect their relationship moving forward. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, if he stays healthy, it's going to be fun to watch. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best, most explosive running back in the league. So I expect him to stay healthy and see some great things from him. Defensively, this team, we don't know what they are defensively. Last year, they weren't very good. They got better in the offseason in their front seven, but still, I'm not going to say this defense is that much better where you're going to say, wow, they're so much better than they were last year. So I say they win 7 games. The Saints, I think they're the second place team. I think they're going to win 9 to 10 games, maybe in 11 games. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. This is too good of a team. Michael Thomas will be back at least in week 4. Everybody says, I heard some people saying he's not going to be back until week 6. That's not what I hear. He's on a pup right now. He could be back as good as the 3rd week. I think Michael Thomas is still an explosive.
You're automatically out 4 weeks.
Well, what happened? All right, so
you're automatically out 4 weeks.
So he'll be back for the 4th week. So
no, that's not how it works either. You get activated the 4th week. The earliest you can play is week 6, I think.
What do you mean week 6? How do you play?
Because you get activated off a pup, and then you have 2 weeks. Or you got a month to play in a game, and usually it's 2 weeks.
So you're saying, okay, whatever. So Michael Thomas is still going to play this year. This is still a very explosive offensive team. This is a very good defensive team. They have a good offensive line, and they have Peyton, who's a great coach. So as bad as Jameis Winston is, or what people say he is, they're still going to figure things out. They're going to use Taysom Hill in so many different ways. It's not just going to be Jameis Winston. I still think that this team is going to win close games because they're good. Okay. And then there's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers will win 12 games. I don't know about 13 or 14 games like everybody thinks. I think they're going to start off slow.
There's an extra game this year.
That's fine. I think they're going to start off
the Cowboys. That's like a dub, right?
I do think that they're going to start off slow. They might even lose the first game of the season. But all in all, they're going to be explosive. They're still a very good team. They have the same players coming back. I don't trust Leonard Fournette to stay healthy. I don't know what this running game is without Leonard Fournette. We saw what he did in the playoffs when he was there. I want to see what this team is without him. I think that this team is still going to be fun to watch. They're going to be dangerous. I don't think they're the number 1 seed in the NFC, but I think they're going to be very, very close. I think there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. The NFC West, which I think the NFC West is going to be very fun to watch. But that's what I think. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win 12 games. So that's where I think the NFC South is. All right, where are we going now? AFC West. Go ahead, B.
AFC West.
Actually, no. Jeff, you go.
Oh, Jeff didn't go.
Jeff, you go.
Oh, for what?
For the
NFC South.
NFC South.
Yeah. Oh, well, the Buccaneers are going to be the best team in that division. Clearly, they're the best team. They're going to be a 13 win.
That's what I said.
The team I got second is, I mean, honestly, the Orange Adonis is going to look unbelievable in a Carolina uniform. He is stunningly good looking in that uniform. 403 tutters the first week. Going to make the Jets look like fools. Going to hang it on them. And then the third place team, yeah, I mean, I don't think Atlanta's any good. The crab leg Casanova will end up having New Orleans finish 3rd.
There you go. So I think you're out of your mind, but that's just me. And by the way, if you actually read what's going on in Carolina, he doesn't look good. So I don't know where you think he's going to win.
It's going to be perfect. Joe Brady's a genius on offense. Let Joe Brady do his thing.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. So where are we going? Where did I say?
AFC West.
AFC West. Go ahead.
Well, obviously with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're clearly going to be the winners. I mean, obviously. Number 2. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think Derek Carr is going to have a good season over there with them, and he's going to prove himself.
Prove himself? He's already proved himself.
Yeah, but he's going to really prove himself this year. Number 3.
I don't know how much better he can get.
Himself.
He's a top 7 quarterback.
Amazing insight. He's going to reprove himself.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm probably going to go with the Chargers and the Broncos last.
All right. So I'll read the comments before I get to mine. Snug with another good name, the pastor of pastrami. # ban the BEAV. The captain of cold cuts. I think you guys came up with that one a couple
The
weeks.
bishop of baloney.
Nice, Jeff.
I love the Sultan of coleslaw. That's the best. That's the best.
Snug says, no way. Sam Darnold hangs 49 on the Jets to start the season off right.
I don't think so.
This is Hidden Brady 8K your time. Ben with a score update, 21-17 Minnesota now, a rushing touchdown. Carl says Gophers back on top. He gives his Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons for Carl. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos for Carl in the AFC West. And Snug says, what does that mean? He's already proved himself. What do you have to really prove himself? All right, so I disagree with you on the AFC West.
And he says the Papa of pepperoni.
Nice, Carl. Very good.
The Archbishop of Antipasto.
Anytime you guys want to come to New York, let me know.
Come on, you don't think these are great names? These are funny.
I'll start digging some holes for you.
All right, so I disagree with the
Wow,
BEAV.
that's unbelievable. We're giving you absolute gold here, and then you're threatening our lives. That just seems ungrateful.
I just said digging holes. I didn't say anything.
The Sultan of coleslaw. Love it.
All right,
the Prince of Potato Salad.
We all know Jeff really didn't go on a date, right? He took a blow up doll with him, right? And he sat him in a restaurant, right?
Buddy, the last time you had any was when your finger broke through the toilet paper when you wiped, right?
You sure about that?
That's the closest you could come to any.
You sure about that?
Snug adds the Pope of Pickles.
The Pope of Pickles.
You guys are idiots. That's ego.
All right, so I got the Raiders in last place. I still don't trust that defense or that offensive line. I'll give them 6-11. That offense could keep them in some games. I still don't really trust their receivers at all. Darren Waller's great. Their running backs are nice, but again, even though I drafted Kenyon Drake on my fantasy team, I think they still overpaid for him, and they lost 3 offensive linemen. And you're not going to get all that.
That's your first mistake.
Get all that in one night. No, BEAV, because their offensive line's so bad, he's going to catch a lot of short passes. That's called PPR points.
Yeah.
Defense was all right in the front 7. But that secondary is just atrocious.
Hey, you want a PPR back? I wouldn't mind drafting Giovanni Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get some.
Yeah, I think he's still available in our league because it's a 10-team league. So I'm sure he's a free agent. So he could be a streaming option for sure. In terms of that defense, they're really bad in the secondary. Trayvon Mullen's nice, but they don't really have much else. Their safety coming back in Abram. Again, not much else to trust. So I have the Raiders last 6-11. Number 3, I have the least clutch team in football. They're a talented team, the Chargers. They're going to finish 8-9. They're going to win some games. They're going to look impressive. A lot of players will look good, but they're going to lose a lot of close games like they always do. That defense will be a little better, but with Brandon Staley there, but they still lost a couple pieces in the offseason with Perriman, with a couple of the corners that they had. Derwin James comes back, which will help a little, but no Ingram. Still a lot of question marks in that interior, too. That offensive line, though, got better. So I love Herbert. I love the talent that they have there, but still a lot of
Derwin James, best safety in the league this year.
Ooh, all righty. So Chargers 8-9.
Okay.
One of the first teams out of the
Remember
playoffs.
I said that.
All righty.
Not in a league Devin McCourty plays in.
We'll see. Best safety in the league. You watch.
All right, number 2 for me is the Broncos. I think they'll figure something out a little bit with their quarterbacks. Drew Lock, I don't love, but I think with the receivers being a little healthier this year, they drafted Javonte Williams. They get Melvin Gordon. That offensive line's a little better, and that defense I think is the biggest key that gets better. They have a legitimate secondary now with their 2 corner tandems, and they don't have to trust Patrick Surtain to be that number 1 corner. They didn't lose any of their linebackers. They get Von Miller back. Their interior.
Forget it. Move along.
Their interior is a little questionable. I have the Broncos 9-8. They're the 7th seed. They're my last wild card team. And the Chiefs obviously will win the division.
Wow, you have the Broncos 2nd place?
Wow.
2nd place in the division.
The Raiders?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Raiders.
That is absolute banana land.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
And then I have the Chiefs obviously number 1, but their defense is a little concerning, but their schedule to being very easy.
On that one.
Yeah.
Their schedule
their
being
defense is concerning, but you're completely fine with Teddy Bridgewater. You're bananas.
Teddy Bridgewater is a game manager quarterback that is serviceable. I have nothing.
Yeah, that's what we need, a game manager when all of our receivers are designed to run down the field. Good for you.
Okay, and they're still good players. They're still good players that are not.
They're going to be good players standing 40 yards downfield where Teddy Bridgewater can't throw the ball to him.
Jeff, it's a lot better than Drew Lock throwing all the interceptions he did last year.
Drew Lock threw those interceptions because none of those guys, they were all hurt last year.
Okay, so you can't give him that leeway this year now that they aren't hurt.
Oh, but you like Teddy Two Gloves? Get out of here.
Okay, he might be. Or Jeff, I'm not saying that whoever starts at quarterback. I don't love
flustered.
I don't love either one of them. They're saying the compilation of the team
I
gets
don't
better.
love either one of them, but they'll finish second because they're so much better than all those other teams.
The Chargers, I said, are the second most talented team. They lose close games in weird ways.
You're stupid.
They lose close teams in weird ways. I didn't say the Chargers were less talented than the Broncos.
You're also forgetting Denver might be in a position to want to lose, right? And I know that sounds weird.
Why?
But they probably want their draft picks to be higher so they have better assets to offer for Deshaun Watson. That's a factor.
I think they'll have enough to offer.
You don't think Rodgers is going there next year?
No, he's under two years. He signed an extension.
No, this is last year.
No, he signed an extension.
Nope.
He signed
It's a 2-year extension, but they could buy him out or something.
Yeah.
It could happen, but it is a 2-year extension.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
2-year
I
extension.
thought it was only 1
He'll
year.
be a Packer.
I thought it was only 1 year.
No, I think he's staying with the Packers.
So Chiefs are my number 1 seed in the AFC overall, but I still don't love them in the playoffs because that defense is a little questionable.
All right. AFC West, I think the Broncos are the worst team in that division. I don't trust Drew Lock. I don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. This defense, when they were talking about trading Von Miller at one point in this preseason, I don't know what this team is incomplete. I think they have a good explosive wide receivers. But again, I don't think like Jeff was saying, I don't think these quarterbacks are going to be able to get the ball. And Teddy Bridgewater starting, I don't think he's going to be able to get the ball to these guys. So I think it's going to be another year where the Broncos are dead last in that division. I don't think they win more than 6 games, 7 games, the most in this division.
They are no longer the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Errol. They are the Speedy PD All-Stars.
I got the Raiders in third place. Their defense is horrendous. They're going to be explosive. They have Jacobs, who I think is one of the best running backs, one of the most underrated running backs in the league. I think they're going to – Derek Carr is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league too. And they have Waller, who I think is, if not – the best tight end. He's the second or third best tight end in football. Very explosive, very fun to watch. I think they're going to be good offensively, fun to watch. But their offensive line is weak. They lost a lot of good offensive linemen, including Brown, that went back to the Patriots, which definitely is going to affect their production offensively this year. But all in all, I think the Raiders don't win more than 7-8 games this year again. I think they're going to take steps back before steps forward. So I think the Raiders are the third place team. And I think the Chargers are one of my surprise teams. I do believe they're going to be a wild card team. I think Justin Herbert slowly but surely is going to become one of the more talented, fun quarterbacks in the league. I think he's going to be a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league by year's end. He's got so many weapons. He's fun to watch. The offensive line's a little bit better, adding, what's his name again? The center from the Packers, Lindsley. So I think they're going to be fun. I also think their defense is going to be a lot better with Derwin James 100% healthy playing in the beginning of the season. Derwin James is going to be one of the more exciting defensive players to watch this year. He's going to be an all-pro player, safety, best safety in the league. Mark that on your trail calendar, baby. I think the Chargers win 10 or 11 games with Justin Herbert. And the Chiefs, they're going to win the division. We know what they are. Patrick Mahomes, their offensive line, which we thought was going to be worse this year. Well, they added Thuney, then they added Brown, then they added the center in the second round. So Humphreys, whatever his name is. So this is going to be a fun team to watch. They're explosive. If they stay healthy, they have arguably the best tight end in football. Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in football. And their running backs are not too shabby either. And their defense, not top notch, but it'll keep them in games. They do have Mr. Honey Badger there. So Clark's not there. He could be out for the season. He might never play football again. That's going to hurt them. But I still think the Chiefs are the best team. They win 12 or 13 games in the division. Chiefs win the division. What do we got now, Speedy?
Jeff has to do his AFC.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. it's a no-brainer. The Chiefs win the division. Everyone agrees, right? Chiefs win. Unless Patrick Mahomes falls down and pulls the Dak Prescott, Chiefs win the division. Okay? I got the Chargers second. I think the Chargers, I do think the Raiders didn't get better losing Aguilar, losing some of those other guys. I like some of their pieces, but they didn't get better. They either stayed the same or got worse, and I like what the Chargers done. I would go Chargers second, Raiders third, and then the Speedy Petey Palominos fourth.
Looks like Carl agrees with you guys. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos is his order as well.
All right, so we'll
go. The Speedy Petey Palominos, the mini horses. They're no longer Broncos. They're mini horses.
Let's go. NFC North. Go ahead, Beef.
NFC North.
The Packers division.
Packers win this division with Aaron Rodgers back there.
How many wins?
How many wins?
That's what we've been doing. Prediction of wins. That's what we've been doing.
Probably 12.
Okay.
Then I'm probably going to go with the Vikings.
The Vikings. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. How many wins?
How many wins?
Oh.
Probably 10.
You think the Vikings are going to win 10 games?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Third?
Bears. And then Lions are going to be the worst team in the league.
How many wins
year.
does the Bears win this year?
9.
Okay. All right.
And the Detroit Lions will probably not win a game this year.
Speedy, read all the comments.
Beef 0-17 Lions. Nice. All right. We did the Papa Pickles. Carl came up with one too. The Piper of Popcorn. Prince of Pepperoni Pizza for Ben. Carl says, should I pick up Jamal Williams from the Lions? Anthony Lynn loves to throw the ball to the backs. I wouldn't rule it out, Carl. If he's available on your waivers or late in your draft, that's a good pick. Snug says,
listen to Mr. Fantasy Guy.
Snug says the Brigadier of Brisket. Then he asked me a question. Speedy, which is more likely to happen? A, the Chargers win a close game late, or B, a sad old blind woman gets tricked into a date with the BEAV. Oh God, those are interesting scenarios. From the wise words of my father, even the blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Can we go with hell freezing over first?
Yes, I'll take Jeff's answer. Of Slugs, your two options, unless you're.
Could the squirrel find your nuts, Speedy?
No. I would hope not.
Probably already has.
No, I've never been attacked by a squirrel. I've never been attacked by a squirrel, luckily.
He was probably up in a tree, one of those peeping Tom kids, right, with the squirrel. Look at his nuts.
No, my parents will let me get a tree house. Okay. Snug, if you're willing to let me go with Jeff's option, then I'll pick C, but I'll go with A. Maybe they find one fluky other team misses a field goal or something like that. They don't play the Vikings this year. I'm trying to figure out another team with a kicking curse.
Keep reading everybody's stuff.
Maybe the
please.
Bengals.
Could
Maybe
you
the
stop?
Bengals. Carl says Bears win 9 games at best. Vikings win 8. Ben says Packers. Everybody else. Snug says I love how he says as much wins every time as he knows. He's surprised Earl wants to know it. And then Ben says I'll be walking before that happens. All right, so NFC North for me, I'll go Lions last. Like Beef said, there's not really much to talk about with them. I'll say 3-14, the worst team in the NFC. They only have a couple strengths on that team, and that's really it. Third, I got the Bears, just because I don't know when Justin Fields is going to start. I don't really trust that coaching staff. That defense, it's still decent, but they have some question marks in that secondary and interior defensive line. Offensive line has a couple injuries as well. So I'm going to take them third right now, even though I think when Fields does play, he'll definitely be a spark. I just don't know how many wins they're going to get. Second, I have the Vikings 9-8. That defense will be better. They were better in the second half of the season. Now they get Danielle Hunter back. They just signed Everson Griffin back. They bring in Patrick Peterson, Bashaw Breeland to help out that secondary. So it's not going to be great, but it's definitely going to be better than it was last year. And I think that offense is still very explosive. Kirk Cousins is a very disrespected quarterback in this league.
From one of the best divisions in football to probably the worst division in football, besides the NFC East.
The Dallas Cowboys still play football in the league, though.
No, but the NFC North is just as bad. I mean, it's terrible.
But I think the Vikings, I think they'll sneak in. I think they'll be the last wild card team in that division. They're usually a good team every other year type thing, and I trust that thing. I don't know if it'll lure Cousins to say, but I think they sneak in, and then the Packers will be number 1. I'll say 12-5. They still didn't really solve their issues, though. I mean, Amari Rodgers could be their second receiver, but again, their biggest issue I still think is the middle of the field on their defense. They got safeties that are decent, but the linebackers, I don't trust them, and the interior defensive linemen outside of Kenny Clark, they don't really have much. So I think it'll be the same old Packers, unless, again, this is a another one of those like if the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams last dance thing is going to happen, maybe, but they really didn't improve their biggest weakness to me. Sorry, Ben.
I think the Lions are by far the worst team in this division. One of the probably worst teams in all of the NFL, but I still think they can win 5 games this year. I think Jared Goff is going to stay healthy this year. He usually stays healthy, and they're a little bit better than they were last year. It's not saying much. So the Lions win 5 games. Vikings are the second worst team in this division. I do not think they're the second place team. I do not think they're going to sneak in. I think they fire the coach at the end of the year. I think Kirk Cousins on his way out, probably goes to San Francisco. I just don't like the Vikings. I think they have a lot of weaknesses defensively. That's why they added Emerson Griffin back to this team. I don't think that's going to help them very much. I just don't like him. I think Dalvin Cook is going to be fun to watch. He's going to be very explosive. Thielen's going to be, if he can stay healthy, he might be decent this year. Dalvin Cook is the only positive thing that I can think of with the Vikings this year.
Anthony Barr.
Oh, give me a break.
Anthony Barr. What a player Anthony Barr is. What a human being.
Okay.
What a human being Anthony Barr is.
Such a smart ass. Anyways, Bears.
You don't think he's a good player?
No, I don't. I didn't think he played well in his first half. He played better in the second half. And for the money that he got, I don't think he is.
Football player. Terrific character, too. He knows a loser when he sees one.
Yeah, so do you, don't you? Anyways.
Yeah, look at BEAV.
You guys. I got the Bears in second place. I think the Bears make the playoffs. I do. Justin Fields will eventually take over for this team. I think he's going to be explosive. Third week. He's going to be explosive. I think he's going to show a lot of people why he should have been drafted a little bit higher. I think that this team's a lot better than people think they are. They have a very good running back in Montgomery. They have Allen Robinson, who's one of the best wide receivers in football, who's going to be expecting a big contract at the end of the season. So you know he's going to have a good season. He has to stay healthy. And this defense is as good a defense as any defense in football. Explosive. I know they lost Fuller. I know that's what our friend over there, Carl, is going to say because he's a Chicago Bears fan. But this team is still good. I think they win 10 games this year if Justin Fields comes in the third game of the season. And then there's the Packers. The Packers are going to win 13 games this year. I think they're going to have the best record in all of football. I think they're going to win the number 1 seed in the NFC. And it's all because of Aaron Rodgers. I think that this team is not as good as they were last year, but all the deficiencies and all the weaknesses that they have, Aaron Rodgers is going to hide that, and I think he's going to be explosive. I think they're going to be very fun to watch. I think they have. I don't know how good this third-round draft pick that they had, the wide receiver that they drafted, but Jeff says he's really, really good. So if that's true, and Randall Cobb, his good friend Randall Cobb's there, even if he gets 700, 650 yards, it's better what they got than their second and third dairy players last year. And they do have a very good tight end. So I got the Green Bay Packers 13-3. Their defense is a lot better than they were last year as well. So Packers win the division. Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll do it. Laugh at me. Call me stupid. Wouldn't be the first time. I'll take the Bears winning the division.
Ooh.
Any quarterback play for that team is a win. They've been dealing with Trubisky. They already have probably the best defense in football. They get any help on offense, which would just be on quarterback play, which eventually will be Justin Fields. But if they get anything from Andy Dalton or anyone like that, they're going to win a lot of football games. I'll take that because I actually think Scotty Miller murdered the Packers' confidence last year. That bomb at the end of the first half just murdered any chance they had. Absolutely slaughtered them. So I'll do it. I don't care. I'll take the Bears 1, Packers 2, Vikings 3, and then HCDC is 4.
Doug says last time a woman touched BEAV's nuts, it was a woman's self-defense class at the YMCA, and they volunteered to be the dude they kick. The Lions might be a top worst franchise ever in any sport. Yeah, they've only won 1 playoff game in the entire Super Bowl era. They probably
He's the only guy on the show that can tell you what bear spray tastes like.
Snug says top 5, I guess referring to the Lions. Carl says tough schedule for the Bears. Snug with more deli puns. The loser of liverwurst and the nibbler of nuts. Not really a deli pun there, but yeah. Carl says with a nervous emoji, and then Danny Trevathan starts the year on the IR list.
There's still
I don't
the best
care.
defense
I don't care. That was for you, Carl. I don't care. I'm taking the Bears 1. Someone's got to walk out on a limb and just instead of going chalk all the time. I don't care. Call me stupid. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Well,
I got your back, Carl.
hold on.
I got your back.
Hold on. The Speedy had the Broncos a wild card team.
And the Vikings.
I mean, absolutely. Did you fall and bump your head?
Not recently.
His mother dropped him a whole bunch of times.
Not recently, Jeff.
Oh, man. What do we got on the other line? What do we have? Somebody coming
No,
in?
I think Jeff just hung up.
Well, he'll probably call back in. All right.
Yeah, he's back.
AFC South. Go ahead, Beef.
AFC South.
Titans, Colts, Texans,
Yeah,
Jaguars.
I got it. Tennessee Titans win that division.
Record?
10 wins.
Who cares?
10 wins.
No,
probably.
we're trying to keep tabs on that, but
I'm just
a guess.
I'm just
you know?
guessing. I have no
Yeah,
clue.
well, that's
10,
fine.
maybe 10, 11 wins. Titans get.
Okay.
Second place, I'm gonna go probably with the Colts. Yeah, I mean, if Wentz can come back and stay healthy,
They're saying Wentz won't be back until week 3 or 4.
3.
Mhm.
But they can still get second place because that division is so weak. Then the Jaguars, and then the Texans last.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right.
Wow, what's wrong
I hate agreeing with this guy. This is awful.
Yeah, that's
what an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, this seems pretty chalky. Texans last. I'm not even going to analyze it. One win. They'll beat the
wow,
Jaguars
thank
once.
you.
One win.
One win. They'll beat the Jaguars once. That's it. Jacksonville third. I think they'll be like a 5-12 team. The offense is nice. I think they have a lot of good offensive skill players. Their line, if they stay healthy, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Move it along.
But that defense is atrocious. I'll say 5-12 for the Jaguars. I'll say the Colts second. I'll say 7-10. They just have a lot of question marks right now. That defense is nice.
7-10, the Colts?
7-10.
No
yeah.
way.
No way.
They got a lot of
They'll be better than that.
They have a lot of injuries on their offensive line right now. There's still a lot of question marks. I think the coaching.
There's a full season, Speedy. There's 17 games.
They'll be
But
better than that.
You're 7 wins?
Keep in mind, they got AFC South
on
has a really
drugs.
tough schedule. AFC East, NFC West. That's a lot of tough matchups.
10
for the Colts.
games they win.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I think they regress this year, 7-10, and Tennessee wins the division. Their defense should be better than they were last year with some of the young corners that they've drafted the last couple of years. I think they overpaid Bud Dupree, but beyond that, I think the rest of their defense will take a step up this year. They get Kevin Byard back healthy. That offense should be explosive, especially getting some offensive linemen back as well. So I'll take the Titans. They'll be the third seed in the AFC. I'll say 11-6.
This is arguably the most, probably
The
on the
worst
bottom,
division.
the worst division in football. On the bottom.
You've said that about 3 divisions.
No. On the bottom. I just said on the bottom, the Texans and the Jaguars could be the 2 worst teams besides the Lions in all of football. But I got the Texans. They're not going to win. I don't think they win 1 game this year.
You think they go 0-17?
They're not winning 1 game.
Ooh, 2 0-17
Yes.
picks. Beef with the Lions, Errol with the Texans.
I don't think the Texans are winning 1 game. If Deshaun Watson plays, they win a game. Okay, if he plays. So we'll see. I don't think he is. The Jaguars, second place. I think they win about 5 games this year. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show you in the second half of the season why he was the number 1 pick. Colts are going to win 10 games. That's what I think. They're absolutely a 10-win team. What do we got on the other side?
Oh, we got Brian Snow on the other side.
You could put Brian Snow on there. You could put a 2-way.
I don't know how to do that on this phone.
Of course you don't. You don't know iPhones. Brian, tell Brian to call us on the other phone.
Brian called Jeff's or Errol's other line.
965-631. Put it up on the phone.
631-965.
Put it on the board. The other phone number, Mr. Producer. 631-965-4990. And we'll jot you through, Brian. So what do we got? We got the Colts. They win 10 games this year. They could squeak into the playoffs if Carson Wentz gets back in time. I think they're much better than you say they are, Speedy. Much better
100%.
than you say
They're
you are.
definitely much better.
And then there's the Titans. The Titans are going to be fun to watch. We know what they are. Go call Brian, get Brian on the other line or text him and tell Brian to call the other line, Speedy. The Titans, I think they win about 11 games this year. They're explosive. They have a good running back, one of the best running backs in the league. And with the Julio Jones there and A.J. Brown, if they stay healthy, they're going to be so dynamic. And his defense isn't good. And I don't care how much you think they're better. They're not as good as you think they are. This is where their downfall is going to be, especially in the playoffs. The Titans win the division, 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And the last.
This is going to be the funnest division to watch.
The better division to watch.
It's the best division in football.
Well, funnest is not a word.
Well,
NFC West.
I have my own vocabulary.
Okay,
so it's fine.
NFC West.
the god of grammar now.
Someone's going to miss the playoffs in this division.
One team, probably.
Yes.
That's it. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Arizona Cardinal. I think the Cardinals are going to sneak and win this division. And then you're going to have the Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
I love watching the beef try to think.
No, because this is such a tough division. I don't know.
Best division in football.
Everyone's going to have probably 10 or 11 wins.
I don't know about that because you got to play each other.
It's impossible to do
Yeah,
that.
you got to play each other. So no, I don't think
9.
Two teams.
Not
win.
everyone can play the Cowboys every week.
Nah, I know. Well, so like I said, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
Wins, win totals, anything?
Cardinals 12 wins, maybe 13. I'll give them 13. Rams 12. 49ers 9. And maybe Seahawks 9.
Wow, you are fun to listen to. That's for sure.
I don't know what to do. It's a tough division. I don't know.
Barrel of laughs.
Don't know.
Okay.
Don't know what to do.
Speedy, what do you got?
All right. Snug says, haha, the god of grammar. Jeff, you can rest easy. OSU up 10 now. Carl says, and then Snug says,
Doesn't matter. I was laying 14.
Snug says, the goddess of goulash. I got the Seahawks last. I'll say 7 and 10. They'll win some wacky games, but they just really don't have a lot on that team. I think this is finally the year it all falls through for Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. They got a passing game, but they don't have much else. Their defense was better in the second half a little bit, but I got them last. Third place.
Put on the other line.
All right, Brian. We got Brian.
Brian, you're there?
I'm right here.
Hold on 1 second. We'll put you through.
All right, so I get the Seahawks in last. I got a tie for second. I got the Cardinals and 49ers tied, both at 11 wins. I think they're both playoff teams this year. I'll take the Cardinals in the tiebreaker just because I don't know what the tiebreakers are yet, but 49ers and Cardinals are both playoff teams. Niners, they get a lot of players back. I just don't trust them with the injuries. I'll give them the 5. I'll give the Cardinals the 6 just because I know, Jeff, you like Kingsbury, but there's still a lot of questions with a lot of his game planning. They got weaker in the secondary.
Coming from the guy who likes the Broncos.
I like the Cardinals, too. I have them as a playoff team. I have them as a very good team. They're a very talented roster. Your boy Zaven Collins will definitely help that out a lot in that front
Say it
seven.
again. Say it again and say it louder for the people in the
Zaven
back.
Collins, just for you, Jeff.
There you go.
Just
There
for
you
you,
go.
Jeff. That offense is very nice. The only question is their pure running game. How good will they be? But their offensive line got a lot better. And I think defensively, they'll still be very strong, even though I still have some questions with their secondary. So I'll give them and the 49ers. They're going to get players back. But again, there's still injury-prone players as a whole. And like Errol's mentioned many times, how that defense maybe might regress a little without Robert Saleh there. And I'll give the Rams the division 12 and 5. They're my number 2 seed in that conference in the NFC as a whole. I think the Rams, they have a lot of star power on that team, very good coaching across the board. And again, they did well defensively with a new coordinator, and they'll have to do it a third straight year. But I think I trust them to at least make it decent. And I think this offense will balance it out too with Matthew Stafford. It gives it another dimension to that offense. So I got the Rams winning the division 12 and 5.
Don't worry, Brian.
Brian, I got your 49ers as the first wild card team. 11 and 6, first wild card team. I just worry about the injuries. They're the most talented team in the division.
My sentence. Hell no.
All right, the NFC West. I got the Seattle Seahawks ending up dead last. I think they win about I think they win about 9 games. I think Russell Wilson is going to keep this team together. I think they're explosive offensively. I think they're worse defensively. They lost Wright in the offseason. Their linebacking core, which has been pretty much their strength over the last couple of years with Bobby Wagner and Wright. Wright's no longer there. He's with the Oakland Raiders. It's all about Bobby. The secondary is definitely weak. They lost one of their top wide cornerbacks going to the Jaguars in offseason. So that's going to hurt them. I think what this team was built on was defense. Now their strength is their offense, and their offensive line stinks. Let's be honest. They didn't rebuild this offensive line. I don't think, as good as Russell Wilson is, I don't think Seattle wins more than 9 games. He's going to try to get himself traded out of there in the offseason and go somewhere else where he can win. So they don't win more than 8 or 9 games this year. My third place team, I would say, because I'm kind of iffy with this, I'm going to say the Rams. The Rams are going to be a playoff team. They're going to come in as a wild card team. I think they win 10 games this year. I think Matthew Stafford will squeak in with the way he plays and stuff like that. I could see them even a second place team. I don't see them winning the division. I think there's certain weaknesses of this team. Their defense is their strength. Offensively, I don't know what they are. Now, Woods, Cooper Kupp, is Cooper Kupp going to stay healthy this year? Who's their running back? I mean, Sonny Michel. I mean, we don't know who they're. Henderson.
Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, Darrell Henderson. But we don't know what they are. We don't know what this running game is going to be. When going into the season was Akers. So we don't know what they are as far as a running team. And that's a big problem if you don't know where your strength is, which has been your strength since the beginning offensively. So that's going to be a huge problem for the Rams. So I think they're going to squeak in as a wild card team in third place. My second place team, I think it's the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to be good this year. What bothers me is who's their starting quarterback. Is it Jimmy? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? We don't know who their starting quarterback is. They're strong in every kind of, every kind of way. Defensively, they're good in the secondary. They're good in the front seven. They can get at the quarterback. Nick Bosa is 100% healthy, but they don't have Robert Saleh there, so we don't know what this defense is going to be without Robert Saleh. I still think it's going to be a top 10 elite defensive team. So I think they're going to be fun to watch, and we know what their offense is going to be. Kyle Shanahan's going to use a lot of running plays. He's going to run the ball. They have a three-headed monster over there, so they're going to be able to run the ball, especially in that division. So I say they win 11 games. I think they can win 11 games and get into the playoffs as the first wild card team, because there's 3 wild card teams that can make it from that, from the NFC. And then obviously the number 1 team is the Cardinals. I think they're going to win the division.
Wrong.
I really do. Kyler Murray is going to be fun to watch this year. I think he's going to be up for an MVP this year if he can stay healthy. The offensive line's better. They have a great running game. Their defense is explosive in the secondary and the front seven with J.J. Watt there. And by the way, Chandler Jones is still there. So that you have 2 really good edge rushers that if they're healthy, they're going to be causing havoc. And by the way, their linebacking core is not too shabby either. So they're going to be very explosive, very fun to watch. And they have A.J. Green. They have Hopkins there. They have, what's his name again? Brown that they drafted. I think it was Brown. Moore in the second round that everybody, obviously Jeff loves. I think they're going to be explosively fun to watch. I think they win 12 games. I think they win the division.
Yeah. I know I'm going through hell in a handbasket, but Errol, what?
I'm sorry. By the way, I want to. I'm sorry to hear about your mom, man.
Yes,
I really am.
Well, I'm doing this for her. Mom was a big football fan. Both my parents were big football fans. I mean, every Sunday we would have playful arguments in the house about who's doing what. And what I know what I'm gonna miss with Mom is she would call and ask me to help her with her picks in her office. And we would still talk about picks, who's going to do what. And back when I started, there was 28 teams. So you have points 1 through 14. Now it's 1 through 16. I'll settle the NFC West. Seattle's going to get pulverized. They're going to be in last place. I do not trust Seattle's offensive line. It's been broken in half, and as I've said on my show several times, the last 6 seasons, they've been too Russell Wilson dependent, and their lack of a running game is going to cost them big time. Their defense has too many holes in it.
A lot of holes.
Seattle's last. In third, I had to toss this one up, but Arizona's going to be in third.
Wow.
I'll explain why. I love Kyler Murray, but A, I question that offensive line, and B, I question if Murray can see over the offensive line. I want you to pay attention to something that I've seen since Murray's been in the league. Why doesn't he dash to his left as often as he dashes to his right? Just keep an eye on that. Yes, they're loaded with receivers, but their running game is going to be a question unless they get established early, especially within the division. Rams are in second place, and I'm being gracious with the Los Angeles Rams. You have a 32-year-old Matt Stafford who has been beat up, beat down, pulverized, and pummeled in Detroit. Now, supposedly, he has a better offensive line in front of him. There's Andrew Whitworth, and then there's who the hell else is on that line. They lose Cam Akers for the year. You bring in Sony Michel, an unproven product. Now, all this can be turned around and thrown in my face, and Arrow will probably be the first one to throw it in my face when it does flip upside down. Speedy Petey will be the second one blowing up my phone, talking about, see, so man,
Nah, he doesn't do that. He doesn't.
I don't want the Rams to do well, Brian. I just think they will.
He doesn't do that. No, I'm the one that'll probably stick it to you.
You'll be the first one giving me mess when if it flips upside down.
Yeah.
But I think it was Speedy who mentioned a possible regression with the 49ers defense minus Salah.
Small, not a lot, just small.
Don't believe the hype. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's hungry. Everyone's mad.
I think it's going to be a lot more than small.
Yeah, it won't be. That 49er defense is elite, and it will stay elite. Don't worry about the quarterback position. If you watch the game against the Raiders, you saw how dangerous this 49er offense can be. Garoppolo is healthy. He's going to start.
You talking about
them.
preseason, bud?
I'm talking about what I saw.
You saw preseason.
Garoppolo
You didn't even see starters, full-edged starters playing in that game. And you think that by watching that, it can explain to you what the 49ers are going to be?
2 years ago, everyone was jumping down Garoppolo's throat because he threw 5 interceptions in Denver. What happened that year? He threw for almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and he was top 5 in 5 statistical categories. I look for a repeat performance, if not better, with the one extra game. I have the 49ers winning that division, and save maybe Tampa Bay, I believe the NFC will roll through Santa Clara.
Interesting. Jeff, what do you got? The West.
Yeah, I got the Rams finishing first. Wow. I just think they're going to be the best team in that
Jeff,
division.
You're crazy.
I think Matthew Stafford adds something. I'll take the Cardinals second, the 49ers third. And, I agree with Speedy, unfortunately, right? Because I think he's dumb too, the Broncos. Jesus Christ.
I think Jeff just put my dog to
There was
sleep,
something going on there with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and all that kind of stuff.
They're not getting along.
I think this is going to be the final meltdown.
Probably.
Yeah, I hate that I agree with you too. I just feel dumb.
But I think you'd rather agree with me than over Speedy.
Don't push it, Beef.
I think you're very wrong.
I don't know about that.
That's crazy, man. But that division it could go
the
either way.
It's the hardest division.
It could go either way.
You're very worried about the Rams running game, right? Which I guess is understandable.
Yeah.
But they're also the team that even when Gurley went down, they had that fat pig C.J. Anderson.
That's gone. And he ran all over my Cowboys in that playoff game.
Yep. No, it was actually my favorite part of that season.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Who's
just like the Jets beat the Cowboys the next year.
But this is what I'm saying though.
Me,
the Rams are just weirdly one of those teams that it doesn't matter who's their running back for them, they're going to get production.
What was that, Brian? What did you say to Beef?
Why am I a Cowboy fan?
Who the hell is a Cowboy fan? And my backup question is, why the hell are you a Cowboy
Why am I a Cowboy fan? Because my mom, when I was a kid, my mother bought me a starter jacket, and it was the Dallas Cowboys. That's how I became a Cowboy fan.
That and he thinks he's a star.
When
you order the Dak pajamas this year, is the
I
right
gotta
foot
go.
on backwards?
I have a long drive to Chicago coming up, but I had to get some sports talk in before.
Brian, Stuart, let's talk. Speedy's going to help you out when you get back. Tell your family. I wish them, all the love and may your mom rest in peace. I'm really sorry to hear about your mom. I'm happy that hopefully everything's going well with your health. I know when it rains, it pours, but you want to know something? I'm here for you, dude. So if you need anybody, you know who you can call.
Brian, my condolences to you.
Yes,
and
condolences to the
I
family.
appreciate you
Yes,
guys.
100%.
I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drive carefully, and we'll talk to you when you get back, bud.
Thank you.
Brian Snow, ladies and gentlemen, who's joining the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. His show, Snowman in the Morning. It is a great show. It really is. He will be joining us.
So can I get Beav to answer that question?
What question?
So when you order your Dak Feety pajamas this year, is the right foot on backwards?
You're an idiot.
Jeff, you want to know the great irony of BEAV Cowboy takes? He actually drafted CD Lamb in our fantasy league.
He did, 3rd round.
And according to Errol, he was not dared.
Before the Beav hated my guts, right? Because there was a time, okay, right? We were on the phone where we not Beav, and I told you you're gonna love the dude. Do you remember that?
I have to see what he does this year.
Hold on. Do you remember me saying that to you?
Yeah, but I don't love him. That's the thing. I remember you saying that. But
Drafting him in the 3rd round, that's love, man.
No, it's not.
That's love.
That's love.
That's love. He was your first wide receiver off the board.
Okay.
Okay.
And only a lot of other receivers are taken already.
In the 3rd round? Dude, I got Michael Thomas in the 10th round.
Yeah, but he's not playing till week 6.
Who cares? It's Michael Thomas.
And who knows how?
Come on, though. You can't tell me. You can't honestly sit there and tell me that with the group of chumps throwing him the football last year. No offense, Beav. I think that you think your quarterbacks were subpar too. I don't want to be taking.
No, not all. No, I said Dak has a good arm, but not the other ones.
No, right. But I don't want to be taking unnecessary shots at the Cowboys. We can save that for another day, right? But with all the chumps throwing him the football last year, you don't think that he shined in a situation where it was impossible to catch the football from those idiots?
I mean, I want to see more from him. Let's put it that way.
Dude, he was a rookie wide receiver, dude. You can't tell me that's not a great rookie season that he had. Come on, be fair.
I mean, it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great.
With the backup quarterbacks?
Wasn't great. It wasn't a great rookie season.
He played with backup quarterbacks.
There's rookies for dealing with what he had.
There's rookies that had better numbers and
who played with better quarterbacks.
So there you go. So
I mean,
it wasn't.
Dude, this is. I mean, it's.
Why do you hate CD Lamb so much?
I didn't say I hate him.
You sound like
Beav,
it.
also keep in mind this is considered one of the most loaded wide receiver classes we've ever seen in terms of initial impact drafting. And look at the year.
I want to see what he does with Dak Prescott. So
I think it's weird, right? Because like when he got drafted, you hated him so much, and I think some of that is bleeding over because like you don't. I feel as though you don't.
Because the biggest problem with the Cowboys was their defense and their secondary, and they did nothing to improve it at all.
Listen, that's a fair complaint.
Nothing.
But what I'm saying, that's a fair complaint. But what I'm saying is because you hated CD Lamb so much, you don't want to admit you were
I didn't
wrong
hate
about
him. I just
drafting
didn't want. I didn't want that. I wanted defense. Defense wins championships.
Maybe they can bring Sean Lee back, huh?
No.
You still would trade McKinney for CD Lamb?
I didn't say I would trade him. I did not say that.
You would gift wrap.
I did not say I would trade him.
Drive CD Lamb.
I did not
to
say
the plane.
that.
Yes, you did.
I did not say that.
What did you say?
Gift wrap.
I never said I would trade CD Lamb. I never said
you
that.
would gift
I said I
wrap them.
wanted a defensive player.
Beav, you were on the phone with Errol and I in the car, and I told you if we were both GMs hypothetically of our respective teams, I said I would gift wrap you Xavier McKinney.
You
for
said
CD
it.
Lamb.
I never said it.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. You don't want to say it. Not me.
Don't lie, Beav.
I don't lie.
have a good memory.
You have a good memory? Okay, Mr. Bronco.
That's not a memory. That is an opinion.
Denver Broncos.
That's an opinion, not a memory.
Yeah. It's a memory now because you said it about 20 minutes ago.
All right, read off what everybody is saying.
Snug says Beav can't be bothered with things like math and logic. Chaz is still confident in your Ohio State bet, Jeff. A lot of time to cover that 14.5 for the Buckeyes. Carl says Beav.
What's the score now?
It's 31-21.
31-21.
11 minutes left.
Yep. About 11 and a half minutes left.
Let's go, CJ Stroud.
Ohio's Minnesota.
Minnesota's on offense.
I don't know why
now.
anybody thought Minnesota was going to win. So
I also threw $100 on the prop bet for Olave to have 100 yards. I don't know how that's going.
All right. Well, I'll check that in a bit. I'll just finish off these comments. Carl says Beav looks catatonic. Slug with more deli puns. Sheriff of Salami and Secretary of Sardines.
Secretary of Sardines.
Carl says if Russell Wilson can see over the offensive line, then Kyler Murray can. Snug says
we should vote all these names and we should pick one that, and we should have the Beef pick the one that he likes.
Picking anything.
The deputy of the deli.
Nice.
Deputy of the deli.
Snug says the guy has to be related to the Beef in some way.
Talking about Brian
ban,
Snow, I think he was talking about.
Hashtag ban the Beef. Can we call Lyle and get his take on any of all
Lyle's
this?
another idiot.
Lyle's not really a big...
Tavares, I mean, not Tavares. What do you say? Who's overrated?
Barzell.
Yeah. Jackass.
Whatever he's drinking.
Snuck says the Beef has put a hex on the Cowboys. Jerry Jones hates him for it.
I can't stand Jerry Jones.
The Beef put his order in. Zach Prescott love doll with the easy clean anus. He also has plans to use it for the carpool lane. Snuck says the Pharaoh of fantasy football. CeeDee Lamb was a diamond in a pile of hog shit last year. Wait. If you play with better quarterbacks, it's easier to put up better stats, ? Beef wants more Jordan Lewis.
Oh, my God.
And Carl has your stat update on Olave, Jeff. 2 catches for 60 yards.
It's not bad.
Oh, I need more.
He needs more.
So, yeah, still plenty of time for that.
All right, so why don't we go? So who do you got? We're going to go through who do you got from each division making the playoffs, and we're not going to go through rounds, and who do you got winning the Super Bowl? You ready? All right, Beef. Who do you got coming out of the NFC West?
NFC West, I said Arizona Cardinals.
That's it? You don't have another team coming? NFC West.
Oh, okay.
Who do you have going to the playoffs?
Cardinals and Rams. Sorry.
You don't think 3 teams are coming out of that division?
No, Cardinals, Rams.
Okay. Speedy?
I got 3 teams. Rams were winning the division. Niners are the first wild card. Cardinals second.
Jeff?
I got Rams and Cardinals.
Okay. I've got Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers coming out of the division. NFC South. Who do you have?
Buccaneers and the Panthers.
I just have the Buccaneers.
No, wait. I'm sorry. No, just the Buccaneers.
Okay. Jeff, who do you have?
Just the Bucks.
Sorry.
I have just the Bucks too. NFC East. Who do you have?
NFC East. I have the Cowboys winning that division.
Just Washington in the playoffs.
Washington, baby.
I have Washington too. And now the NFC North.
I have the Packers and the Vikings.
I do too. Same. Packers and Vikings.
Packers, Bears, brother. Packers, Bears.
I have the Packers.
Same,
I have the Packers and the Bears too. Okay, so those are the teams that we have coming out of the NFC. AFC South. Who do you have?
AFC South, the Titans.
Just Titans.
Jeff?
Titans.
I have the Titans. Maybe the Colts sneak in, but I don't know what Carson Wentz is, so I'm just the Titans. AFC East.
Patriots, Bills.
Okay. Same. Patriots. Bills winning division. Patriots.
Yes, Bills. Yeah, Bills winning.
I didn't ask that.
He didn't ask that. He just
asked
who was going.
He had Patriots winning division.
I don't care who wins the division. I'm just asking what teams are coming out.
He wants
of it.
playoffs. That's all he wants.
Jeff? Who do you have?
Pats and Bills.
I have the Pats and the Bills too.
I was thinking about switching to the Jets, but
yeah, okay.
In reality,
yeah, okay. AFC North.
Ravens, Browns.
Browns, Ravens.
Ravens, Browns.
I got the Ravens and the Browns too. And then the AFC West. Who do you got?
Chiefs.
Chiefs and Broncos.
Chiefs and Raiders.
Chiefs and Broncos, dude. Like, this should be a comedy show. Are you kidding me?
Chiefs and the Raiders.
Who do you got,
Chiefs
Jeff?
and Chargers.
I've got the Chiefs and the Chargers too. All right. Who do you have going
dude,
to the...
Dude, what a comedy lineup this is going to be. When the Broncos finish last, dude, we are going to rub your nose in it like a puppy.
Well, he thought Washington a couple of years ago was going to be a top 5 defense, and I laughed at him. And they were one of the worst in all of the league. And I still to this day stick it to them because I thought it was a horrendous take.
I think Philly's going to win the East. That sounds good. That's the same as your Broncos.
Are we just doing championship?
Yeah. Well, who do you have going to the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship?
AFC Championship
and the NFC Championship.
I'm gonna say Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, and I'm gonna go Bills.
Chiefs and Bills again.
Boo.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you got, Speedy?
Chiefs, Browns.
Mm-hmm. Jeff?
Browns, Patriots.
Ooh,
wow.
Wow. Interesting. I got the Chiefs.
And you know who my Super Bowl champion is.
It's called Tampa Bay.
No. I'm not rooting for Southern New England this year. I'm actually rooting for the New England.
Oh.
I got the Chiefs and the Titans going to the AFC title game. All right. And who do you have going to the Super Bowl?
In the AFC, Chiefs.
Who do you have the game? Who do you have at the Super Bowl?
Well, we didn't do the NFC, the 2 teams in the NFC.
Yeah, NFC Championship.
You do the NFC Championship.
Did
game
we
to
do the NFC Championship? Okay.
That's why.
NFC Championship. Go ahead.
NFC Championship. Let's see. I'm going to repeat with Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And Tampa Bay and Arizona.
Tampa Bay and the Rams.
Tampa and the Rams. Unfortunately, I agree with the town idiot.
I've got the Packers and the Rams going to the NFC title game. All right. Who do you got in the Super Bowl?
I think you're going to see a rematch. Chiefs and Brady.
I got the opposite of the rematch. I got both those teams losing. I'll say Rams-Browns.
I'm going to go a rematch of a Week 4 matchup this year, Pats-Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I've got, I know people are going to think it's crazy. I got the Titans going to the Super Bowl and Titans-Packers in the Super Bowl.
How could you not?
That was almost it 2 years ago when the 49ers played the Chiefs. That was the other match.
I got the Titans and the Packers.
Speedy, I want to respect you, like I really do. But since you didn't double down and just say Broncos to the chip, like how can I respect you?
I'm gonna roll a 7 seed, Jeff.
If you don't ride the Broncos the whole way, dude, how can anyone respect you after that? All the shit you've taken tonight.
Yeah, and
I'm not putting a 7 seed into the Super Bowl. Jeff. I have them 9 and 8.
Super Bowl winners are going to be the
you're
Chiefs.
Eeyore and not Errol anymore. Maybe you're the fun killer.
Fun killer? Why? Because I downgraded who?
Yeah,
the Chargers.
You're the Richard Ramirez of fun.
Jeff, if I wanted to pick for what I would want a fun Super Bowl to be, I would pick the Cardinals or something.
I want to say I want to say the Rams going there, but I don't think it's gonna. I think the Packers beat the Rams in the NFC title game. That's my opinion. But I would like to see the Rams go. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams go to the Super Bowl.
I don't want them to go, but I think they will.
There's a good chance that could happen. But I got the Packers. I think the Packers go to the Super Bowl this year. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Unfortunately, the Rams. The Browns are too inexperienced for the Super Bowl.
I think Mahomes gets his number 2.
How about you, Jeff?
In Belichick, we trust.
Wow, you got the Patriots?
You really have the Patriots in the Super Bowl. You just busted chops.
Brady.
He does. He really does.
Let me just tell you, right, for people that are like naysayers and stuff.
I'm not naysaying. I'm just want to know if you're being serious because you're very sarcastic.
Dude,
a lot of the times.
First of all, I'm going to ride my team like you ride your team. And first of all, I have way more hope than you do. We've done it.
Yes,
okay?
That's true.
Right?
It's fair enough.
Right, and I actually believe. Right, Stephon Gilmore's going to miss the first 6 weeks or whatever, and that is going to sting a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I actually think the Patriots are going to have one of the best defenses. I think Patriots are going to have a top 5 defense in the league this year.
Well, it's just not crazy.
It's not crazy to say that. No, not at all.
No,
but
go and look at our linebacker. Right?
But with a rookie quarterback, you really think he's going to take him to the Super Bowl?
They won 7 games last year.
I understand that. I get that.
They won 7 games last. Dude, do you know that surfer girl that got her arm bitten off by a shark?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Bethany Hamilton. I think her name is.
Yeah. She could have thrown for more yards than Cam Newton did last year.
All right, Jeff. Who has more passing yards, Cam Newton or Dak Prescott with his?
Well, I didn't make my pick. I didn't.
Dude,
I didn't make my pick.
Listen.
You guys didn't even let me finish my who I think.
That's your producer over there.
Yeah, you didn't even let me speak and say who I think. I've got Green Bay and the Titans in the Super Bowl. I've got the Titans winning the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I got the Titans winning.
Okay.
Hey, listen, you got to give him credit for being bold, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Derrick Henry over under 150 yards.
I don't know. I have the Titans. I think they beat Green Bay in a close game. I think Green Bay's defense will fall apart in the fourth quarter. That's what I think. And if Julio Jones stays healthy and A.J. Brown, how dynamic is that offense going to be? So it'll be fun. Even with Ryan Tannehill, you don't need a star quarterback to win, and this will prove it again this year. So I got Tennessee winning the Super Bowl.
And listen, I certainly take my fair share of shots at Dak Prescott, right? But I actually think he could have a good year. This is my worry for Dak Prescott.
Shoulder?
You let me know. No, you let me know if I'm crazy, but this is legitimately my worry for him. he already holds the ball too long, right? That's been his problem the whole time. He always takes a ton of sacks because he holds the ball too long.
He does, but he doesn't throw
You can shut the
interceptions.
music off, Speedy.
I understand that, but my concern for him is he going to panic in the pocket knowing he had his foot turned around, right? Because he already holds the ball longer. Is he going to make bad decisions because he's scared of taking a hit?
I don't think he's scared of taking a hit. No.
You think that's a legitimate concern for a guy that had an injury like that?
Yeah,
that already holds the ball?
it could be a concern. It could be on his mind, but I don't think he's scared to take a hit.
Hey, listen, man. You go ahead and have your foot turned around like that. Alex Smith was still pretty scared of taking a hit when he came back.
Yeah.
And listen, Alex Smith.
Yeah, but that injury
worse than Prescott's.
that injury was a lot worse than Prescott's, I believe.
It was, but it's still the same, and it still can linger in your mind.
Sure, it can. I'm not denying that, but I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's worried about taking a
And
hit.
it worries me that he has to play Chase Young twice.
He might not run as much anymore like he used to.
I can't believe you picked Chase Young to be the best defensive player.
He might be more of a pocket passer now.
Hey, if it doesn't work out playing quarterback to the Cowboys, he can always go work at IHOP.
Stuck says, breaking news, Cowboy inside Charles
Well,
Haley.
as crazy as this is, I mean, they were talking about fucking Cam Newton coming to the team, which I don't want at all. I heard rumors.
Dude, honestly, though,
as a backup.
that was definitely a possibility, and I definitely like Will Greer better than Cam Newton. But if we're being honest, you guys employed Cooper Rush, and
I know.
I think the one-armed surfer girl can throw for more yards, but even Cam Newton can throw for more yards.
Oh, that's what I was. Yeah, that was a rumor going around. I was reading the other day.
And by the way, he's read off what people are writing.
I was about to, then the BEAV was rebuttaling. Snug says, breaking news, Cowboys signed Charles Haley. Defense is immediately improved. The premier of pimento loaf, His Highness of head cheese.
Premier of pimento.
It's like the AFC and NFC championship is the Cowboys. Duh. Carl says, did you guys read the story that Yankees broadcaster Sterling was rescued from his car by Ricky Ricardo, another announcer?
No, I didn't hear that.
I guess during the storm.
That's
yesterday.
crazy.
Yeah.
The Padre of prosciutto.
Nice.
The Padre of prosciutto.
Stuck with another one. The Crown Prince of Cheddar. Carl with a.
I gotta go. You guys
Snug with
a break.
Carl with a score update: 38-24, Ohio State. So right on the brink of your bet, Jeff. Packers.
Oof.
Ben says Packers win the Super Bowl. Naturally, Snug says, "Nah, Earl is still the Eeyore of the show, running around with little rainy cloud over his head, or maybe the grouchy Care Bear."
Oh, nice.
Maybe Dak
Hold
Prescott.
on, I gotta know before you keep going, Speedy. Are you not laughing at any of these, BEAV? Because they're
No,
gold.
They're not.
They're brilliant. The Sultan of Coleslaw, dude.
They sound like idiots.
You know the Sultan of Coleslaw was funny. You know that's funny.
Guys are jackasses.
I should get you a cowboy jersey saying the Sultan of Coleslaw.
You're an idiot. Why?
Because it would be so
I
funny.
would not wear it.
You wouldn't wear it?
No.
Come on, man.
Don't waste your money.
Come on, BEAV. You know you.
Don't worry. I'll light it on
Dude, we
fire.
are marketing geniuses. You ever get your own deli, dude? Like your own thing, right?
I don't want my own deli.
We're marketing geniuses.
Sultan of Coleslaw.
Yeah, come to Sultan's Deli. I'm the Sultan of Coleslaw. you got like 8 different kinds. One's a mayonnaise coleslaw. The other one's like an olive oil coleslaw. That kind of, dude, you'd kill it, bro.
You and Jeff should go into
no,
partnership.
Hell no. I don't even want nothing to do with my own business.
Dude, you'd kill it, bro.
So,
especially on Long Island. Can you imagine
Sultan's Deli.
how many parties
not
you
with,
would
not with
cater?
food. I don't want to deal with food anymore.
Can you imagine how many parties you could cater, though?
No.
You would actually make a lot of money catering parties. Absolutely.
Don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it. But what else?
I want to open up a liquor store.
Maybe Dak Prescott could punt this year if he keeps that foot on straight. Carl with another one, the principle of pot roast. Snug says, my worry for Dak Prescott is that there is some stalker from Long Island named the Pope of Pickles who's trying to lure Dak into his house for a surprise.
Genius.
And Carl finishes it off with, what about Dak's shoulder?
Yeah, it's sprained. He's fine. Everything that we've heard, he's going to be fine for game week 1 next week on Thursday. He should be fine. That's what
I still don't see
says.
them beating Tampa Bay, but
you want to know something? Jeff might be right. He might be onto something because they do start off slow.
They do start off slow, but I just don't see it happening.
Jeff, you know what's so funny when we talk about football and I know you're obviously a Patriot fan and he's a Cowboy fan and you can't stand the Cowboys, and it's so funny when you.
It's not that I can't stand the
You
Cowboys.
can't stand the
I have
fans.
nothing-
You can't stand
Dude,
the fans.
their fans are the most obnoxious people on the planet. Like, they think they're good. Dude, there was one fan that tried to tell me that they were going to win, that Dak Prescott was going to win 3 straight Super Bowls. What do you think? What do you
Joking when I said that. I said
You
that.
were not joking.
I said that sarcastically.
You were also not joking when you said that Zeke Elliott was better than Barry Sanders. I don't ever remember Barry Sanders leading the league in fumbles.
Well, I will to help you out on that. When I said that to his father, he almost fell over.
Right. Even his father is like, I produced the greatest amount of stupid Long Island has ever seen.
And I remember telling his brother that, and his brother almost fell off the chair too.
like this is the thing. Like, I can say I think the Patriots are going to be a top 5 defense, and they have one of the best young linebackers in Uche, and they have Hightower, and they improved up front, things like that, and they still have one of the best cornerbacks. And people are like, okay, that's not unreasonable. They have a good defense. They have a defensive coach. When you go, Dak Prescott's going to win 3 Super Bowls.
I was joking when I said that. I said that very sarcastically.
Ben says
when you say Zeke Elliott's better than Barry Sanders, and don't tell me you were joking. Don't tell me
that one.
you
I
were
wasn't joking
about
on, but the 3 Super Bowls with Dak, yes, I was.
So Snug says the Cowboy fans smell so bad you can see the stench, and then Ben says Patriots and Cowboy fans are the worst.
No, the
And
Eagles fans are the worst.
And then Snug says, ha 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 ha, Zeke is better than Barry. A classic beavism.
Beavism, I like that, Snug.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
It is a beavism.
Philadelphia is the worst fans in the world. I don't care.
They're bad.
No, right. No. They're the worst fans in the world because they're abusive and things like that. You guys are the worst fans in the world for your just delusions. Delusions, bro. Just crazy. Zeke Elliott's better than Barry Sanders. Dude, Tony Pollard took his job last year.
That was probably
that's a real thing that happened. Who remembers Tony Pollard taking his job?
He was hurt last year.
Well, he looks good. He looks good.
Right now,
this year.
he lost a lot of weight.
He
He's
did.
in good shape. He's gonna have a better year this year.
What's he gonna do? Wear even shorter T-shirts?
I don't know. That's
Don't
ridiculous.
Read that. All right, well, instead of reading that, I'll add to the deli. The Monarch of Monterey.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I will say this. With all the craziness with this show, Jeff, you've been very kind to the beef on the show today. You really have.
Listen, I don't have a problem with him personally. I mean, he looks dumb. He looks like he smells like cat piss, right? So that aside, right? I don't have a problem with just being rational. Like the 3 straight Super Bowls.
I was sarcastic with that. I was kidding around when I said that.
Yeah, right. Which leads into the.
But I still think he can win.
Zeke Elliott's better than Barry Sanders, which is just blasphemy.
I still think Dak can. I still think Dak can win 1 or 2. I still think he can win.
And it's so funny too. And it's so funny because you hate their good players. You don't even want to say that CeeDee Lamb is a good player. He's probably the best receiver on their team.
I don't know. We'll see.
He is. He's the best wide receiver on that.
See what he does with a full season with Dak.
I think Dak is going to be able to get him.
He's going to get. You really think he's going to get worse in a full season with Dak?
So let's just see what he does.
I think he's a Pro Bowl player if he stays 100% healthy.
I mean, there's no doubt the Cowboys are going to be a better team than last year just with having Dak there. Look at what they had to put up with at quarterback last year. That was miserable.
The redheaded bastard.
All right, so let's do this. Awards? Who wins MVP this year? Go ahead, Beef. Take a guess. It's a guess. We're writing this down. Just throw a curveball. MVP. Who wins the MVP of the league this year? Most valuable player.
Could be Rodgers again.
You got Rodgers?
I like your pick, Errol. I'm going to go Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray?
God damn it.
Who do you got, Jeff?
MVP, Mac Jones.
He's all in on the Patriots right now.
Matt Jones, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead. Prove me wrong.
You can say rookie of the year, maybe.
He's going to win all the awards. He's going to have the most rushing yards, most passing yards, everything.
They're not
I
going
don't know.
They're not going to
Like-
give it to Aaron Rodgers again because it's very hard. Unless you're Peyton Manning.
If he has the season he had last year,
yes.
I'll
but
tell you what.
I got Kyler
I'll tell
Murray.
you what.
I got Kyler.
I'll tell you what. MVP Matthew Stafford.
Okay,
that could be interesting.
As the Beavs fantasy quarterback.
No. You're laughing. I think that can be a real thing.
It could be really. It could be a real thing.
Dude, he's thrown to monkey spunk his whole career, and now he's all. God, fucking damn it. Dude, I hate. Dude, I hate I honestly hate myself. So, like, why did I lay 14?
I've got Kyler Murray winning the MVP of the league. I think he's going to win it. Who wins Defensive Player of the Year this year?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Oh, it's obvious.
Who are you saying?
He's going to go Chase Young.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you got?
Chase Young.
Oh, you got Chase Young? Jeff?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett. It's so hard to go this way.
There's so many good players. It could be anybody. You know, like it could be. I'll take Zayvon Collins.
Nice. Of course you will.
Yes, Jeff.
Oh my God. I'm trying to, because there could be somebody that just comes out of nowhere and has one of those crazy seasons this year.
Dude, I'll give you another one, right? I'll give you another one that's like, it seems obvious, but everybody forgets how dominant he is. Why does nobody talk about Khalil Mack as winning like defensive player?
Yeah, that's true. Right. Their defense could be fun to watch this year. Khalil Mack, I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to give it to the guy that I believe should have won the defensive player of the year last year. I'm going to go with TJ Watt. I'm going to go with him. I think this year he's going to break through and he's going to win the MVP. Even though that team is, I think they're going to come dead last. I think he's going to be very explosive and fun to watch. I think he's going to have a lot to watch. So, all right. So, offensive rookie of the year. Who do you got?
Offensive rookie of the year.
Rookie offensive year. Rookie offensive player of the year.
I'm going to go with the quarterback for the Patriots, Mac Jones.
This one's for you, Carl. Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, you got?
Yep.
Jeff?
Okay. Obviously, I was kidding before, but for rookie of the year, I actually think Belichick puts his quarterbacks in positions to win. I do think Mac Jones has a chance of winning rookie of the year.
Okay. I have Elijah Moore from the New York Jets. I think he's the guy.
Of course.
No, I'm just saying. Why do you say of course? I think he's going to
all 500 receiving yards he's going to get. He's going to overtake any of the quarterbacks.
I think he's going to have a lot better than that. I think he's going to do a lot better than that.
Personally, for me, I think there's just too many quarterbacks that are going to end up playing Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Like it's kind of a quarterback award, right? Like very rarely do running backs, wide receivers kind of win that.
Didn't Jefferson win last year?
Yeah, no, Herbert won last year. Jefferson had 1,400 yards though.
Well, that's true.
Lawrence would probably be my pick if he had a coach that wasn't so questionable in some of the decisions he's made already. That's the only thing that holds me back.
I just think there's going to be too many quarterbacks.
That's true, actually. Thinking about it.
I probably would take Lawrence if it wasn't for Urban Meyer. I feel like Urban Meyer will have a cause him to mess up some more.
You know what? I'm going to go with Justin Fields. I think he'll come in. I'll go with Justin Fields. Zach Wilson or Justin Fields?
Get in the end zone.
He's in the end zone.
Chris Olave over 100 yards. What's up?
He'll be a first-round draft pick next year. Olave.
Him and Garrett Wilson will be. Olave's good. I think Garrett Wilson's better.
Yeah, I agree.
He's in.
Jeff, you got to hope they go for two then to get the 2 points.
No. I don't even care. I'll take a push, dude. I'll take a push.
Okay.
Hold on. Did he step out?
You know what?
He's in.
Oh, he's in.
He's in.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a bold statement. I'll say Zach Wilson wins the MVP. I mean the rookie.
Of course, I went from one Jet just to the other.
He's going bold. He's going bold.
I'm gonna go bold, and I'm gonna say Zach Wilson wins offensive rookie of the year for the Jets. Okay, defensive rookie of the year.
Not even a question. Everyone could just say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Say it.
What do you got?
Beef?
No, I don't know, Ken.
I got mine.
Easy. Just repeat after me. Zayvon Collins.
Ken.
J.C. Horn, I think, is going to win.
Oh, no, it was 61 yards. I saw the one earlier. It's 38. Okay, so yeah, he's over 100.
I say Horn wins defensive rookie of the year.
I'm going to take, just because he's going to be on the field a ton because the Cowboys defense is horrible, I'll take Parsons. I think he'll get a lot of tackles.
I think Parsons will be wow.
I think Horn's the best player. I think Horn's the best player, but statistically they look at tackles.
Parsons is going to be good, but I don't know if he's going to win.
I think J.C. Horn's going to have 4 or 5 interceptions as a rookie. I think he wins rookie of the year. I think he's the best.
I love Horn. I think he's the best player. I just think the way they do statistically, I think the tackles will favor that. And the Cowboys defense is awful, where I can see him getting like 100 something tackles. Plus all their linebackers always hurt too.
Coach of the year. What do you think wins coach of the year? I think it's crazy to say that, and it's because of the rookie quarter. I'm going to go with Bill Belichick. He's going to win coach of the year.
That's what I was going to say.
I think Bill will win coach of the year. You have Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Let's see. I'll take Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. Who do you got, Jeff?
I'll take William Belichick.
I figured you would.
Of course.
What else?
If he turns around this team with a rookie quarterback,
he is. They're going to win a division.
That's why I picked Bill Belichick, because I think he's going to.
And never mind the fact that he's been the best coach in the league for 20 years, and how many times he won? Once.
It's crazy because when you. By the way, Snug says the Lord protect.
Snug is an asshole. If you want to attack my family, you son of a bitch, come talk to me in person, all right? Because I'll kick your fucking ass.
Attacking your family.
What did he say?
Yes, he
Lord
is.
protector of pasta salad.
What did he say on your family?
Go read the comments.
We're not reading that one.
If he wants to talk,
we're not reading that one.
If he wants to talk shit, come to Long Island and talk shit.
Well, that's why we didn't read that one.
Of course, but he should keep his fucking mouth shut because I'm going to shut it for him.
You'll be the hurler of hummus.
So, if you have a fucking problem, come talk to me.
Nobody's saying anything about your family. I think he was just trying to be.
No, he's being an asshole.
Dude, you need a hug.
No.
BEAV, put your arm around him, pal.
No.
Put your arm around Speedy.
Hell, I don't want to touch that slimy bastard.
What was I? Where did I come from?
Guy probably hasn't showered in fucking like 4 weeks.
Showered today. But okay, BEAV.
Just look at him. You see, he doesn't even have a haircut.
I just got a haircut.
You better go get your money back because that barber butchered your head.
Snug says residents. BEAV said.
Don't read that.
No, I'm not reading the whole thing.
Clearly,
I'm not reading the whole thing.
We're not reading.
Go to break.
Carl says BEAV's best response will say. Snug says Dak Prescott for MVP. Ben says Rodgers for MVP. Carl says Gophers are a strip sack away from this game being tied with 5 minutes left. The sack was the difference right now. Ben says 38-31. It's changed since then, now 45-31. Slug says Jared Goff for MVP. Defensive player of the year, Zaven Collins. Duh. Well, naturally, it's a Jet. Carl says Bears will draft Olave.
Who said that? Who said naturally it's a Jet?
Snug.
I said, if you want to ask my honest opinion, I think if you want, I want to throw curveballs. I say Zach Wilson wins Rookie of the Year. That's what I think.
Everyone not picking Zaven Collins is just ignoring.
He's defensive. Well, he's defensive player. He's defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how does anyone picking anyone other people going? Oh, I think J.C. Horn's the best player. No, he's not.
Well, I picked. I wanted to be bold, and I'm going to go with J.C.
He's going out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
So.
A lot of the things that
it's harder for corners to win. So yeah, Horn I think will be the
usually
best
linebackers win defensive.
Yes, or pass rushers. Yeah. Carl says Bears will draft Olave. Snug says the thinnest of lines between Bold and Homer. Carl says if the Broncos win the division, it will be their coach. And Speedy has no underwear on. You're wrong, Carl. I do.
I know the BEAV's got to go. We got to go to break. When we come back, we'll get into some baseball conversation as some news coming out with Sterling. That's an interesting story. But there's a couple of stories I want to get into, and one of them with the New York Mets. Interesting story when we come back here on the Sports Loudmouths.
Hashtag make the BEAV
Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Saturday, August 28th, add it to your calendar. The Sports Betting Channel presents To Be Determined. Our new show starts at 8 o'clock out here in San Diego, 11 o'clock in New York, and then we're done just in time for the first game kickoffs for college football. You're going to get 4 totally different slices of sports. Blackhawk West joins us for Saturdays in Canada and some plays for the CFL game. What do you do when the easy sports data is trending in opposite directions? Well, Mo's going to help us decide what to do on Something's Gotta Give. There's also Paulo's Plays. Now, if you're not betting soccer, you really should be. And this guy is very, very good. Finally, there's Wake and Bake, where sports betting meets marijuana. Hey, the games start early here in Southern California. Now, 9 o'clock's a lot easier when marijuana is legal. It's like having 4 shows in one. Check it out Saturday, August 28th on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, and on the Sports Betting Channel.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is the Sports Loudmouths.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and the BEAV is no longer with us. Leave this on. I like this. I want to flow with this. Now listen, I'm not Jeff. I'm not dissing. I'm telling little Speedy he knows how to shave his balls. He doesn't shave his balls.
No, I don't, and I'm not going to be peer pressured to.
What? You don't want to shave the balls?
Not because of you.
I just think that you should.
Exactly. That's called peer pressure.
You did say that today that you actually scratched your penis at one point. Is that true?
I said I cut it.
How did you cut it?
I think I hit a tree or something.
How did you hit a tree? You ran into a tree?
I would think playing something outside. I don't know.
Are you listening to this, people? He ran into a tree.
I don't remember. I don't remember why, but happened.
So you ran into a tree and cut your penis.
So, yeah.
Did you hear that, guys?
That's the story we're going to go with for now.
All right. So he cut his penis by running into a tree. Interesting. Very interesting, Speedy. As you guys know, this is the Sports Loudmouths, and we are here with the great and powerful penis ripper himself, Speedy Petey. Remember, you can listen to our show every single Wednesday from 9 p.m. to Wednesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. 12 a.m. at night. Remember, you can call us at 631-672-3108. Download our app by going to iOS, WWSRN, or Android. Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I know Jeff is probably gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. Jeff, thank you for joining us. You were very gracious to our guest and obviously the BEAV. Obviously, Snug the Cat wasn't too gracious with some of the things that he said. And Snug, I don't know why you would bring up his family. You know he doesn't like that. You could say whatever you want, but don't bring up his family. That was wrong. That was really, really wrong, man. And I respect you, man, but that was wrong. We know more about Speedy's penis than I have ever thought we would.
Thank you, Snug.
And then Snug says, Speedy, manscaping is a natural part of a man's life. He's right.
Isn't that artificial, though, technically?
No, you need to shave your balls.
No.
Bro.
I mean, the actual company. Isn't that artificial?
Yeah, no, it's not artificial, but you need to shave your balls, man.
I was doing it for the.
I mean,
if
you want a woman to actually look at it,
I'm not really sure what it was.
You want to look like you have a bush between your legs?
Maybe I'll judge at the time.
So wait a second. You think a woman would look between?
I don't
your
know.
legs if you
I
have
don't
a bush?
know. They're not going to look anyway. So
how do you know a woman wouldn't look at your balls?
Really?
Yeah.
You have a lot of confidence.
I do have confidence. Why? You don't think women will be attracted to you?
Not really.
Why? What's wrong with you?
I'm awkward and weird.
You're awkward and weird. You know how many awkward and weird people? I'm awkward and weird.
Yeah, but you're confident.
Yeah, but you should be confident. You're Speedy Petey. I think you need to be a little bit more confident, even when you're around women. And I'll say this as nice as possible. You get too close to them. You got to give it space, man. And you believe it or not, when you were at my friend's party, you were macking it with a girl. You just didn't know how to close the deal. Your problem is closing.
That's my whole life.
But here's the thing. Here's how you close. Hey, listen, you're pretty. Say you're a beautiful girl. I think we have something here. Could I take you out on a date? That's all you got to say. It's pretty simple. Could I have your number? That's the closing thing. Could I have your number? Could we talk on the phone? Could I get to know you more? That's it. You would have had that number, man. You would have had it closed and delivered. You probably would have been in her pad or in her bed. You'd probably seal the deal, man. You got to be a little bit more confident about yourself. Don't worry about what people think of you. If they're talking to you, they like you. That's it. She liked you. You just couldn't close it. Even Brittany told me, she's like, wow, Speedy had that pretty much done. Get Speedy a dating app, Earl. No, I don't think he needs a dating app.
No, Carl, I'm not doing any of that.
I don't think.
Plus, again, half those guys are fake anyway.
I don't think Speedy needs a dating app. I think Speedy's got game. I think Speedy just doesn't believe in himself. And don't trust himself. I'll tell you guys, I've taken him to parties. I've taken him to clubs. Women do talk to him and do flock to him. Problem with Speedy is he gets a little too close with them, and he doesn't give it space when you're conversating. Sometimes you got to give it at least a foot where you're conversating with them. You're not hanging on them. And all you got to do is say, listen, I think you're a pretty cool girl. I'd like to get to know you better. Maybe I could take you out on a movie, or maybe we'll go out to dinner. Could I have your number? That's it. Close the deal. Done. She gives you your number. You don't text her the first or second night. You wait until you believe that it's open, I guess, open to send a text. Usually you wait a couple of days, you send her a text and see if she answers you. If she answers you, then you slowly, you don't answer right away. You kind of play the game. Let the girl chase.
Carl, glad you enjoyed the clip of me dancing.
Oh, that's the best.
Ben says took away targeting call against Ohio State. Snug says the key to closing, pull out a big wad of cash.
You need to pull out that ball so he can shave them.
You got to trim your bush. It's just what it is. And Snug says, we swipe on Speedy's behalf. Maybe we can vote live on air. Oh, God, that'd be embarrassing. Am I a dancing machine? No, I'm not a robot, Snug. If I was a robot, there would be more capabilities of transportation and power-ups than what I have.
Well, I think you need to grow a set of you-know-whats, and you need to shave your you-know-whats, and maybe you'll have a little bit more confidence. But you have more game than you think. I'll just let you know that. You just need to learn how to close. And that's probably the easiest thing. You're too worried about what they're going to say. If they say, how about this? Don't worry about the yes or the no thing. Just worry about you sealing the deal. It don't matter. They're going to have more no's than yeses, but that one yes could be better than any of the no's. And that's the way you need to look at it. If you're confident to think that way, you're going to get yourself a girl. If you're not, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to just sit there that you're awkward, you're this, you're that. Who cares if you're awkward? Everybody in this world is awkward. Everybody. The BEAV. BEAVs, I'll tell you this. I love the BEAV. Love him. He's one of my friends. I respect him more than anything. The problem with the BEAV is just like you. He can't close the deal. He can't close. And closing is probably the easiest thing. The hardest part of it is walking up to them and building a conversation. That any man, any guy that knows anything about talking and having a conversation with a woman, the hardest part is walking up to them for the first time because you're afraid that they're going to reject you. But if they're talking to you, that's your way in.
But also keep in mind, I wasn't just targeting one person at the party.
Well, don't worry about targeting. You don't have to target. You could target 6, 7 girls and get all of their numbers. Okay. It's all about getting to a point. Have a conversation. And don't do it at the end of the party because then they're going to say, why don't you ask me, before when we were talking, before you walk away, make it seem like you're walking away. You got to go to the bathroom. Say, listen, I'm actually I'm actually going to go over there and hang out with my friends. But before I go over there, I think you're a really attractive woman. And listen, you know who's going to be attracted to you and who's not. Some people are going to just be nice to you, but you just got to see the way they look at you, Speedy. I saw a girl actually look at you and actually was interested. You just didn't do. I was trying to sneak that to you and tell you that, but I wanted to see if you noticed it. You gotta be a little bit more confident about yourself and stop worrying about what other people think. Because honestly, who cares what everybody thinks? It don't mean anything. If you're not confident about yourself, you talk on a radio show twice a week, 3 times a week. You're on an FM radio show, a radio network. It's pretty big to do what you're doing, and you're not scared to talk on a radio show, but you're scared to seal the deal with a woman. Who cares? There are hundreds and thousands of people listening to you with a radio show, and one woman scares you.
I guess larger crowds.
Larger crowds.
Larger crowds, I'm good with. Like stage fright, I don't have public speaking. Like
so how about this? If I put you in front of
guess.
100 women, you're gonna ask every one of them for their number?
No,
but you just said a larger crowd.
I'm saying in general, just in general. Like I do well with larger crowds, like larger groups, with different things. But smaller stuff, more direct stuff, not as much.
I think you just need to be a little bit more confident and secure about who you are as a person, and you'll close the deal. And it's for you to think that nobody would be interested in you. You're wrong. I've seen some beautiful women go with ugly guys, but ugly guys. And why? Because they have good game. They're not afraid. They're not ashamed to walk up to the girl and close the deal. So you shouldn't be ashamed. You should be up to them, and mentally you should be telling yourself, I'm Speedy Petey. I'm a fucking rock star. Okay? That's all you got to say to yourself. I'm a rock star. Nobody does what I do. I'm the best at what I do. If you do that, no girl, a girl's going to read your confidence. Girls love a confident guy. And that's what you're confident about, opening your mouth and cutting people off and trying to correct people. Well, I'm trying to correct you from your stupidity. Shave your damn balls, okay? And then go out there confident. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to talk to a girl and a girl pulls your pants down and sees that you have a bush between your legs, she's going to run. And I'm telling you that. I think this is coming from a person that knows. They will run. Fact. And I'm nobody is going to want to look at that. Nobody want to see a bush between your legs. Okay. Words of advice. At least trim it. Okay.
Carl says a lot of people are going to lose money on this OSU game by half a point. Snug says if you do it right, you get the 6 or 7 girls' number, then you get the 6 or 7 to come over for the best sleepover ever. That'd be some like sorority party or something like that.
There you go.
And then
Orgy Central.
What you do is whisper the filthiest thing you can think of.
No.
What? Snug? Really? What are you doing?
If you're going to a college party, what do they call that? Sorority party. Sorority party.
Sororities.
Yes, they're all drunk. Yes, you do that.
That's what I just said.
You're going to a party, a regular party, in which you're not going to a sorority party, obviously. You go to a regular party, you just be kind and collective, and you know when a girl's interested in you. You know. You just know. You can read it. You know what I'm going to do for you, Speedy? The next time we go out, I'm going to point it out to you. Okay? I'm going to point it out to you when I know for a fact that girl is interested in you, and I'm going to make sure you close the deal with them. Because that's your problem. Is the problem with you is that you're so worried about what people think of you, and don't worry about what people think of you. What do you think of yourself is what's going to get you where you want to go when it comes to a woman. That's the most important thing.
Carl says, if you shave the balls, it looks bigger. So there you go, Speedy. Ha ha.
By the way, Errol is the best wingman possible, first of all, Carl. And if anybody knows me, and my friends do, I am the best wingman. I am a dancing machine. I don't drink, and I know how to speak to women. Okay? So I can absolutely help Speedy. I don't have to be his wingman. He needs to learn how to do it himself. Confidence in what you do and how you do it is what pulls you to where you want to be in anything that you do. When it comes to radio, when it comes to women, anything. By the way, Speedy, get Brittany to hook you up. She's probably knows tons of chicks. Brittany actually has more guy friends than girlfriends. So, but Brittany would do that, absolutely. But Brittany, Speedy don't need Brittany. He doesn't need a girl to do it for him. He needs to be a little more confident about who he is. And if he does that, he will land one. The problem with him is his head's so far up his own ass. Has no confident level. And then when he does have a confident level because he's drinking, he gets too close with them, and that scares a girl off. He was talking to a girl at a party. I'm telling you guys, He had it. It was signed and delivered. She was drunk. She was all ready to give him her number. And what he did was he didn't close the deal, which he kind of was starting to learn. Never look at your phone when you're talking to a woman. Never look at your phone. If you're talking to somebody, give her your undivided attention. When you pull out your phone, and if she pulls out her phone while she's talking to you, she's not interested. Facts, okay? So if she's not talking, she's not texting while she's talking to you, and you're not texting when you're talking, it means she's confident enough to have a conversation with you. And that's when you try to close the deal. You don't sit there and talk about my family, my this, my dog, my this, my that. If you're talking about dogs and you're having a conversation about dog, try to move it towards her. Say, where'd you go to school? Blah, 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 blah. How old are you? Blah, 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 blah. You like movies? Do you like this? You like that? You like sports? Yeah, I'm a bit. And it's like, yeah, you seem like a cool girl, cool chick. I don't know what you're doing next week. Maybe you'd be interested on going out for dinner or going out to a movie or something like that. And she'd probably, yeah, I don't mind doing that. Or where you at? Could you pick me up? I'm not driving right now. Blah, 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 blah. She's driving. And just say, listen, give me your number and, let's swap numbers and we'll talk, and then you play hard to get. That's what you do. It always works. It always works.
Snug says, rule number 1, pretend to listen to what they say. They don't have to know every fact, but broad idea. They all fall for it. No, Snug, we're not doing an online dating game. Snug, if you want to host an online dating game on your own video stream, go for it.
I just listen. I think that he should be a little bit more confident there. It's not about, it really isn't about what the woman thinks. It's about what you think. And if you think you're more than confident to land that girl, you can get her. It's not a difficult trade. And 90% of the time, these girls are looking to meet guys when they go to these parties. 90% of the time. So that gives you more than enough percentages to give you the opportunity, especially if you're a nice guy. Because girls like nice guys. Especially people like you who are pretty down to earth, straight up, and honest about everything that comes out of your mouth. And they know you're honest. So you need to stop. You give each other space and close the deal. Close it quicker than later. And don't wait for the closing time. Closing time. Speedy licks an ass.
Thank you. So it says, everybody everywhere love people who have swagger.
Jeff says, treat them like dirt. It works.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, by the way, Jesus, we are about to tie El Salvador in soccer.
Carl, are you referring to the men's soccer team? Because we all know they're pretty hopeless as it is.
What are you talking about?
I'm guessing that's what, the men's team. I'm guessing that's what Carl's referring to. Because obviously, the MLS team probably wouldn't do it, and the women's team is too good. And
Snug says, hell, I got a girl, and the only thing I talk about is cupcakes.
Sounds about right.
Well, cupcakes are good, man. It's what kind of cream is on the cupcake. And maybe Speedy can show a little cream to the girl, But first things first, he needs to shave those balls. That is the number one target of destination, because if you seal the deal and a girl pulls down those pants, or if you're not wearing any underwear, you know what she's going to see? She's going to see an Amazon rainforest and run for your life. Men's team in the World Cup qualifying.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You go.
Yeah, Carl, our soccer team is, except for the 2014 Cup, I mean, we know they're not going anywhere. And they're still not going to win a World Cup because they're just never there.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I want to finish up with, obviously, some basketball and baseball. This Ben Simmons thing is getting really, really hot, by the way. I've been hearing now more along the lines of Golden State closing a deal for Ben Simmons. So, Speedy, if Ben Simmons somehow gets traded to Golden State, is Golden State now moving up as the contender against the Lakers?
No, I still worry about certain things with Golden State. One thing is Klay Thompson coming back from his injury. I'm not sure if he's going to be the same player, especially defensively with his perimeter defense mobility. Now, Ben Simmons can aid that to an extent. They'll definitely be moving up. But remember, they were a 9 last year. So you're only moving up probably a couple spots. Plus, you'll probably have to trade some of your starting lineup in order to make this kind of trade as it is, unless you somehow could pull off only draft picks in the trade, but you have to make the money work. So odds are some starter is going to be lost, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Andrew Wiggins, somebody's going to be lost in that mix. So I don't know how much they would do that. Plus, again, the biggest thing is the playoff strategy that Atlanta employed. Don't be surprised if teams start to do that more often now. Obviously, Greg Popovich pioneered it with the Hack-a-Shaq, and then other teams started to do it with other bad free throw shooters in the playoffs with Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan, guys like that, guys that could never shoot free throws. And Ben Simmons is now the latest of that mold. Now, granted, the Warriors have more depth, a little depending on how much they have to trade than the Sixers do, because the Warriors have a bunch of shooters. Even their young players off the bench aren't bad. It's just the question is if a team implements that game plan, smart coaching. And there's a lot of smart coaching in the Western Conference. I don't know how much they're going to be able to handle that. And if you take him off the floor, then they lose a lot on defense, especially if Klay Thompson isn't the same player as he once was. Because then you're really dealing with Draymond and or Wiggins. I figure one of them is going to be traded. And then what else you got defensively?
Well, I think if Ben Simmons goes Golden State, Klay Thompson comes back, a healthy Klay Thompson. I mean, they're dynamic. You're adding another piece to the puzzle. You have Andrew Wiggins. Maybe you don't have to trade Andrew Wiggins for him.
It might be Draymond that goes in the deal.
You probably trade Draymond Green and maybe a couple of draft picks. That could close the deal. Draymond goes over there to the 76ers. They have the draft stock that they really wanted. They'll probably get 2 first-round draft picks for somebody like Ben Simmons.
Imagine him and Embiid, like 2 of the loudest players in the league.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I think Ben Simmons is an upgrade over Draymond Green. Being that he's
skill-wise,
young,
skill-wise at this point, yeah, probably.
Draymond Green's not a great offensive player.
He's a good passer, but Ben Simmons is a better passer. Yeah.
Ben Simmons is a better offensive player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a better overall player than Draymond Green. Now, Ben Simmons can't shoot a foul shot, and he can't shoot a three-pointer. Draymond Green has hit more three-pointers than...
Yeah, Draymond's not a great shooter. He's like a smart shooter type more than anything else. But I just worry about what they would have to trade in order to get that factor into the starting.
Don't you think Ben Simmons would actually be a better shooter, being that he's training and working with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, 2 of the best shooters in the league?
I mean,
maybe they help him.
You would hope.
Maybe they would help him figure things out as a shooter. I think if he shot more shots and worked on his shooting, I think he'd be a better shooter. I mean, skill-wise, 6'10", can pass the ball, has a great ball handle. Defend multiple positions, practically every single position in the league. Why couldn't he figure out a shot? He doesn't have to be the best shooter.
The other factor though, is there has to be some level of volume within your shooting in order to do that. And that was the other problem with Ben Simmons is he would never shoot. He would always pass first, and he would pass up open shots because he couldn't shoot. If there's enough volume per game on a consistent basis, then other teams won't foul him as much. Obviously, if they have their own foul trouble, maybe they don't do that. And that's where Golden State's going to maybe improve a little bit if James Wiseman's healthy for the whole season, if they have other guys driving to the hoop, if they keep Wiggins, he's decent at that. And obviously Ben Simmons himself might be the guy drawing fouls in that case, but also Ben Simmons can't shoot free throws. So if you're trying to do it
which
on
is
that,
a huge problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem is just because of the way Atlanta did it. Atlanta did it with the hack of Simmons, and Simmons couldn't make anything. Now, that was kind of a statistical anomaly too. I don't expect him to be as bad as he was in that postseason, but it's still going to be a strategy that other Western Conference teams are going to use, and teams that are more talented than the Hawks.
Well, also, you have Steve Kerr as your coach, very good shooter, person that has one of the best shots we've seen come out of the NBA. Now you have 2 really great shooters. I think that if he goes to Golden State, I think he becomes a better free throw shooter because I think they will work on his shot, obviously. Now, we're looking at Carl saying Ben Simmons, 0 leadership skills. Draymond Green, very vocal. And
that is actually a fair point. Yeah.
Has the ear of the team, but he also causes a lot of trouble. And Draymond Green's getting old. He's 33, 32 years old.
I think 32. Yeah.
Yeah. He's getting old. And Draymond Green, Ben Simmons is an upgrade at that position. You can, being that Ben Simmons 6'10", he's bigger, he's longer. I think he's more athletic. He could do a lot more.
He definitely is more athletic.
So I think that, and he's one of the more elite defensive players. Now, Draymond Green was an elite defensive player. He's not that anymore. He can't keep up with some of these young players. So I think Ben Simmons is an absolute upgrade. And trading Draymond Green, he can go over to the 76ers. He gives them the leadership, probably helps Joel Embiid actually develop even better as a player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And becomes a vocal leader over there. And then you bring in some young players in the draft. I think it works for both teams because I think Golden State automatically becomes a better team with Ben Simmons and Wiseman. And by the way, Ben Simmons can only help Wiseman develop his skills and his defensive skills. Now, again, Ben Simmons is not a great shooter. He's not a great free throw shooter. What is he at the free throw line? I don't know what he is. Probably 54%. If he gets to 70% or 69%, that's light years better. And as a 3-point shooter, he's what, 10%, 12%?
I think he's made like 12 of like 70 something in his career.
All right. If he goes all the way up to 25%, that's light years better. I mean, he doesn't have to be a great shooter. If he's giving you 16 points, and he can give you the defensive prowess that he needs, and he's giving you 10, 11 rebounds a game, that's giving you more than Draymond Green's providing you.
I just worry about the volume, though, because of the strategy. Because even if Ben Simmons shoots efficiently, if he still doesn't shoot often, then either one, the game plan is going to be questioned. Why are you not having Klay Thompson shoot? Why are you not having Andrew Wiggins? Obviously, Steph Curry's going to take his shots anyway, but why are you not having these guys shoot? There's going to be a little bit of a dilemma. That's why I think it would be maybe a small improvement. Because remember, 9 seed in the West, they could jump a little. I just don't know how significant it's going to be just because of those factors. If you don't have the volume, the teams are going to continue to foul you. And then if you take them off the floor, you have to rely on either smaller lineups or other depth, and then you lose that defensive value. So I worry about it more, one, from a Western Conference perspective, because there's a lot of better teams in the Western Conference than the East, obviously. And two, just from a game planning perspective, Steve Kerr, we know he's kind of a figurehead coach. Could he actually be a real coach and try to figure it out is another question.
He's a shooter, and a shooter can teach another person how to shoot, okay? He was one of the greatest three-point shooters we've ever seen, especially he was an elite three-point shooter with those Jordan teams, and right. James Paxton was the other elite shooter. When obviously he retired, it was Steve Kerr's team to shoot and take over that position. What about Millsap going to the Nets? I mean, I told you Paul Millsap decided he had 3 or 4 different teams that he could have went to. He decided the Nets, and the Nets need to add veteran players. I think Paul Millsap is a great all-around player. He is getting on a little bit on the older side. I don't know how old he is. I think he's
34 now or something.
I think he's 36, if I'm not mistaken. So he's an older player. Does Millsap make them that much? He turns 37 next February.
Okay, you're right then.
So he's 36. Now, last year he averaged 9 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, and 20 minutes. You add him to that Nets team. Are they a better team? Yes or no?
Yeah, because that gives them size. It's something they haven't had. Now, Millsap's not really this like uber big forward. He's 6'7". He's a smaller 4 with a physical build. He's very strong, good inside defensively, and he's a good passer, solid shooter. Not great, but the Nets don't need shooting. They just need some size and some good experience too. He's got good playoff experience with the Nuggets. With Atlanta.
And Carl, I meant John Paxson. Did I say James Paxson?
I think you did.
All right. John Paxson. I'm sorry. But John Paxson, the 3-point shooter, after John Paxson, it was Steve Kerr. So they always had a shooter that could shoot around the perimeter, open 3-point shots, because Michael Jordan would always provide double teams, which opened up the perimeter. That's the triangle offense. Right. So we understand the way the triangle offense works. And Steve Kerr runs a style of triangle offense. So John Paxson, sorry.
Now, where Millsap, I think, will help the most is his passing skills, because then it'll allow them to open up more 3-point shots. Now, he's not going to handle the ball, obviously, because they got Kyrie Irving, James Harden, but he's still going to get inside shots where they could set up another guy for 3. And I think that'll end up helping the most. Leadership, too. Atlanta, a lot of playoff experience. He went to a conference finals. They lost to LeBron. With the Nuggets, they've made it consistently the last couple of years. Now, he's playing less minutes because, 1, he had a lot of injury issues last year, and 2, Michael Porter emerged. Jeremy Grant emerged for that team last year. You still got Will Barton there. They have a lot of good depth with the forwards. So again, it's just more of a team thing more than.
Does that make them a championship team? Adding a Paul Millsap?
Well, they are what they are as it is. We know
they are a championship team.
They are a championship team. Again,
I still don't trust James Harden or Kyrie Irving in the playoffs.
That's the biggest
and they don't
problem.
Stay healthy. Both of them.
James Harden in the playoffs is always my biggest problem, and obviously the depth. They still don't have a lot of size. Still, this is a start. But again, Millsap's 6'7".
Didn't they re-sign Mr. Ginger too?
Yeah, they did. But again,
that's size.
It's size. It's rebounding.
6'10".
But both of us know he's not a great raw defender either, which doesn't help the cause. And Millsap, he's kind of regressed in that area.
But he's a good defender.
He is a good defender. Now, again, again, like I was saying with the Warriors, how much is coaching going to really boost that too? Which Steve Nash, figurehead type coach too. That's not really going to help improve that elements of the game too. Unless they can get everybody to shoot well, that's going to be another factor. Or Kevin Durant plays more defense because, again, I think they were limiting him kind of with the injuries too. So that's the other factor. And maybe other young guys emerge. Maybe these draft picks we don't know about, but most of those guys were guards in this year's draft too. So it's tough to tell if they can even get the size, or if Millsap could play that kind of physical role. Maybe his role will change in this system because they don't need him to shoot.
I think that with the Nets, they need to add as many veterans as they possibly can.
Right.
You're looking what the Lakers are doing. The Lakers are now starting a trend. And I'm so sick and tired of listening to LeBron James. LeBron James, as much as he is drawing these players to come and play with him, he's not reaching out to these guys. He's not reaching out to the agents. He's not the GM. They have a GM there, and LeBron James, they're probably going to LeBron. We're making a move for him. We're making a move for him. Does he fit what we're trying to do here? And we all know Frank Vogel is not the vocal guy of that team. It's LeBron James. He is the leader of that organization on the court. Outside the court, he's not running the organization. It's the Bust family. Yeah. And obviously, we all know who the GM of the organization. That's why they brought him in to run the organization, which he's another LeBron James guy. So, again, I look at what the Nets are doing. I think the Nets need to consider certain veterans to this team. Look what Miami did. They brought Haslem back. Haslem's what, 40-something years old?
He was on the 06 team, and he's still there. It's crazy.
I mean, he's an old man, but he's still playing. You need those veteran players that can give you dynamic minutes and minutes that can help you guys win a championship in the playoffs. If you need a rebound, if you need somebody to defend this position or rebound a big play or a big play in the middle of the game, or you need somebody to actually make. I mean, Haslem could do those things. So
I think with Haslem's longevity, even though he barely plays, I think he's like 38th or something in total rebounds in NBA history, just because how long he's played.
And if I was Oladipo's mom or his father or his brother, I would have smacked him in the side of the head, because I think he made a tremendous mistake when he had the opportunity to sign back with the Pacers for 4 years, $100 million. He got really $2 million contract, I think it's like a veteran's minimal, to come back to play for Miami to prove himself after his injury. And then the Houston Rockets last year offered him a 2-year, $40-something million contract, and he's making $2.6 million right now for Miami this year. Does that make sense? When Oladipo, to me, is one of the most underrated players in the league.
Yeah, I'm surprised because
I think he's a top 25, top 30 player in the league.
That's probably fair. I'm definitely surprised too, because he's a guy that's always been injury
Tim
prone.
Hardaway Jr. got a bigger contract, his second additional contract from the Dallas Mavericks.
I would also consider Tim Hardaway Jr. the exception to the rule.
He's not even close to Victor
I know.
Oladipo.
That's why I'm saying he's the exception to the rule. In terms of Oladipo, though,
they're practically the same age too.
Oladipo is somebody that, being how injury prone he is, I feel like he has to factor that into, I have to go for one more big contract. I know, again, the Pacers are not the championship competitive team that Miami could be, but again, who says they can't develop more? They develop players well, they just have trouble holding on to them. And who says somebody like Oladipo doesn't have leeway in terms of getting players in if, say, he has that breakout type year? Now, again, the Pacers are not the free agent hotspot that the Heat are, or the Lakers, teams like that. But again, somebody that is injury prone, that teams are on the fringe of giving a max contract to. If you got it, you might want to go for it. And who knows, you might get traded at the trade deadline. You might get to a good team anyway.
I think when you look at the Western Conference, we know the Western Conference is top heavy. Their bottom feeders are terrible. And the Eastern Conference is becoming more top and bottom heavy. I think the East, slowly but surely, is becoming what the 90s East was, where they were all around. It was a good division. It really was. I just think the top heavy Western Conference teams are far and along better than any of the Eastern Conference teams. And that's a huge problem, the way the NBA is starting to slowly but surely become more equal. Now, you look at some of these veteran players, and you look at Paul Millsap. Is he a game changer? I don't think he's a game changer.
Not anymore.
But bringing in a Millsap could absolutely help and benefit them moving forward if he can stay healthy throughout the season. Defensively, because he can provide two positions that he can defend, not at an elite level like he used to, but at a level where you can stop those guys and contain them. I just worry about the Nets, because I don't think they can stay healthy. Kevin Durant hasn't proven to be healthy for a significant amount of time. Kyrie, we all know what he is, and we know what James Harden is. They're not a healthy team. Then you look at teams like Milwaukee, the Greek Freak's always healthy. Drew Holiday's usually fully healthy. Middleton is usually fully healthy. That's why these teams win.
And Milwaukee overcame Giannis's injury when he did get hurt for the 3 games he did in the playoffs last year. So the Nets, I mean, I guess they did it to an extent, but they still have to overcome that kind of adversity, which sometimes for underdog teams, they do it better where you don't have as much pressure on them like the Nets have done the last couple of years, forming this big 3, especially for somebody like James Harden, where he's one of those considered superstars that is looming on, can he get that championship? Because a lot of people think that that's the biggest thing just missing from his legacy. He has all these scoring titles. Obviously, he's terrible on defense, but that's the thing missing from his legacy, where that's the veteran superstar that has that extra pressure on him comparatively. Obviously, Chris Paul has a lot, but James Harden's probably that other one that you look at a veteran guy and say, all right, is this the team? Is this the time for me to win it finally?
I think, and we're almost done. I want to finish up with baseball. Obviously, and guys know we do a show called The Weekend Crunch on the FM dial 103.9 Saturdays live at 7 p.m. Tune into the show. It's a great show, very funny, and we usually have guests. We talk all different sports, not only just New York sports. We get into the top priority sports conversations, and it's a great show. It's the #1 show right now on their network, and it's very, very good. So tune into it on 103.9. If you're here in Long Island, 103.9 FM. If you're not, go to iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio or any of them and look up LI News Radio. You can check out the show. It's a great show. I want to finish up with a little baseball, and then we're going to go, obviously. I know we're going over the time, but we like to entertain you guys, and we would like to get on all the stuff that we wanted to talk about. This story with the New York Mets is really growing legs out here in New York and throughout the country. And we talk about Trevor Bauer, how big of a laughingstock he was with the allegations of what he did. And obviously it's coming out that a lot of those stories are completely non-true. And we don't know when Trevor Bauer is going to come back. But what's so interesting about the New York Mets right now is they've had two GMs that were brought in by Sandy Alderson. One from the Boston Red Sox. What was his last name? I'm sorry. Speedy?
The most recent one was Jared Porter.
Jared Porter, who over the 7 or 8 years over there with the Cubs, he was sending disgusting pictures and trying to get with writers or whoever he was
reporters,
reporters or of something of that magnitude.
I think he was doing that with the Diamondbacks too when he was there as a young guy as well. Like
I mean, he's so desperate that he was trying to pitch himself to these girls, and he ruined his complete career because this guy was. A lot of people thought Jared Porter was the next big GM. Who knows? He could have rebuilt a MLB team, and I think over there with the Chicago Cubs, they were trying to hide it. Obviously, because if it came out, it really would have hurt the Cubs when they were going for those championships, and they won one of them. But then, obviously, recently with the new GM, Zach Scott, he was up there, upstate in White Plains. He probably went out for a couple of drinks with the boys.
He went
friends,
to go see Kenny.
whatever he was doing, and he fell asleep at a light over there in White Plains. A captain of the troopers pulled him over, and he didn't want to take a breathalyzer. Right. They winded up taking his blood, and then they found out that he was highly drunk. Obviously, the Mets suspended him, and now what is Sandy Alderson going to do? Is he going to keep this guy? I think you have to fire him because that's embarrassing. So the Mets could be the first team in Major League history that had 2 GMs on the same team that got fired and hire another GM before the season's end or at the end of the season. You're talking about 3 GMs in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, and you listen to what Steve Cohen is saying after this whole bias thing. He's taking shots at his players. Now, we talk about Steve Cohen on how much he is all about the team and all about his players, and that's why he opened up his pockets. When bias hit that, when the fans are booing him because he's not hitting, he hits a home run, he puts his thumbs down. Lindor, you just paid him $341 million, is copycatting Javier Baez. Javier Baez is going to want $180 million in the offseason. And you're talking about the fans going back and forth with the Baez and Lindor, and all of a sudden Cohen gets involved and is protecting the fan, not the player, which is very surprising when Cohen was all about his team and all about his player. I mean, this is starting to really become the Wilpons. I mean, this is as much of a joke as the Wilpons was. Now Cohen is opening up his pockets. There's no question that he's doing. But just because you open up your pockets, we saw Steinbrenner do that all those years. And all those years when he opened up his pockets, it never worked.
Yeah, stability is still a big question, no matter what the ownership is from what it seems like. Now, whether that's a carryover from past regimes is a lot of to be determined, but it's also stuff on the inside that, again, we're not used to seeing. We're not this whole bias thing. Players don't normally do that a lot of the time. It just happened to be because the hostile fans. I mean, we know New York has hostile fans like Philadelphia. Like
Anywhere
Boston.
you go, there's hostile fans.
But especially
you see videos at the Rams games, they're beating the hell out of each other.
Well,
I mean, the
few
Oakland
fans that
Raiders,
they have.
I mean, not the Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. You see fights going on over there. There are always fans that can't stand other fans or can't stand each other.
Well, this one is also different. It's right directed towards the player. Now, there's been instances of booing and heckling over the years. Okay. But again, this is another instance where this is an ongoing thing. It's not just one game. It's now game to game. Sundays when it started, Baez gets booed because he's struggling since he came back from his injury. He homers, then he gives a thumbs down. Then Tuesday he gets booed more. There's that big ninth inning. He had a hit, and they scored the winning run. Very impressive slide in that walk off. So it's an ongoing thing. Now, the thing that worries me the most, no matter how much this feud ends up going, I don't know if Javier Baez is necessarily bad with fans. Carl, you're as a Cubs fan, you probably have a little more insight on that. I don't think he was ever a big problem with that. Somebody that instigated or making trouble, but this could also cause the Mets to have to pay up more than they would have thought of to keep him there if they don't like that kind of culture. Now, the fans aren't the only factor in that. Like you're saying, instability with these general managers, just a lot of injury, so many injuries. Like we don't know if these players could ever stay healthy, even players that are normally durable throughout their whole career.
Who would have thought at the end of the year the Mets would be the laughing stock of baseball? When they going into the season, everybody was so high on the Mets winning the division with the players, Pete Alonso, Lindor, even making a trade at the trade deadline, which I think they were reaching when they went after Javier Baez. They couldn't get Chris Bryant because obviously he didn't want to go and play for the Mets. I mean, the story is coming out that he wanted to go out west. He didn't want to go out east. Right. That was the story.
He's from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And he didn't want to come over here. And I think that has hurt the Mets. And then I would have went after Rizzo. I understand Pete Alonso's there, but you could have moved Rizzo to another position or Pete Alonso to another position for right now, or do something. You know what I mean?
I don't think one player necessarily would have solved everything. The Mets are just dysfunctional in so many different ways right now, and nobody's hitting in this lineup. I know some guys are coming back now, which has made the offense a little better, but it's still not consistent.
Michael Conforto, where everybody thought that the Mets were going to re-sign in the offseason or before the season started. Thank God Cohen didn't do that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Mets re-sign Conforto, it is a huge mistake. It is Lindor. It's going to come back and hit him square in the forehead because Lindor was a huge mistake. And I don't think Lindor is going to last more than 2-3 years here in New York because I don't think he can manage playing in New York. He played in Cleveland, guys. Cleveland. All right. I know it's a big city. It's a big base, sports town. It is not New York. You need to provide. You need to play hard here in New York because the fans, if they don't see you doing that, they're going to boo you, a.k.a. Javier Baez.
That's where you create a culture problem. Now, I'm not worried about the performance aspect in terms of year to year of Lindor. Obviously, this year's a bad year. We're just going to accept it at this point. Year to year, I don't think this will be as big of a problem. But the culture, if it continues to be that way, I'm not blaming the fans or anything like that.
I think Steve Cohen needs to step in. Stop opening up your pockets and saying that you're going to buy your way into a championship. It never works. It didn't work for the Yankees. I don't want to hear the Yankees. When the Yankees, the only time it worked was in 2009 because Alex Rodriguez got completely hot in the playoffs. They
about time they had 3 straight or 4 straight terrible postseasons.
They spend money on CC Sabathia and what's his name again? AJ Burnett.
Yeah.
And then obviously Mark Teixeira, and they won that championship. After that, they haven't won since then. You cannot winning championships. Those 90 Yankees, they were won by they built a route, which was Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, and then they built around that route, that core of players.
I would say with the exception of like the scrappy teams, the random ones like the Red Sox when they won in 2013, the Nationals last year or 2 years ago when they won as a wild card out of nowhere. It seems like the blueprint now is developing certain young players, having a core, making trades for those young players. We saw that with the Cubs. We've seen it with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have also spent later. We've seen it now with even some other young teams like the Padres and the White Sox and the Braves, teams like that have gotten better. And then you get the players later, get the free
Look at the
agents
Chicago
later.
White Sox. Look what they did. They
Right,
traded away their veterans. They kept one veteran in Abreu, who's a great player, and they made him the leader. They brought in a good manager in Tony La Russa, and look what this team is doing. They're going to be a championship competitive team this year, and that's what you do. Look at what the Red Sox did. They brought in a GM from an organization like the Tampa Bay Rays who don't buy players. They build around the farm system. They bring players, pieces in that work for an organization to build on. And look, the Red Sox are one or two players away from being considered a championship competitive team. They really are. And that's because of the GM building his farm system. Look, the Red Sox farm system last year was ranked 18th. This year, they're ranked 10th. Why? Okay. That tells you because the GM understands that you're not going to win with veterans. You're going to win through youth.
Right. And they were kind of the team kind of stuck in that trap of, we saw certain teams, high market teams, start overpaying for players, and then they really had a hard time digging themselves out. Yeah. Now, the Red Sox, granted, they won a World Series amidst all that in 2018, but still, you got teams like the Angels, you got teams like the Tigers, even what the Braves were in the past, like 20.
Look what the Angels have done. Angels spend money all the time. Albert Pujols. They went after
Josh Hamilton, CJ Wilson,
Ohtani, all these guys that to spend. What have they won? What have they won?
They made the playoffs once.
They've won nothing. They have the best player in baseball. They're going to probably have if not the MVP, the second runner-up this year. They have a great team. They never win. Why? Because buying players don't get you anywhere. Right. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get you anywhere. You could say whatever you want about the Yankees even now. They got a core of players. They did. And they're bringing in players. They're not buying players now. They're bringing in players. They're not going at. The only player they bought really was Garrett Cole. They brought in Giancarlo Stanton because they were practically
that was one
handed.
of the three teams.
He was handed one of two. He wanted to be with the Dodgers and the Yankees, and it just so happened the Yankees just gave him away.
The Dodgers, I think, were over the salary cap.
Yeah, so whatever. So honestly, you look at the Yankees. They're going another route. They're building around the core like they did in the 90s where they were more successful. The Judges, the Sanchez's, the Gleyber Torreses. You look at the Yankees, that's what they're trying to do. And then they bring in veterans like DJ LeMahieu and guys like that are going to help out and help the understanding of where this team is going. That's the way to go now. It is not anymore bringing in veteran superstar players and thinking that that's going to help you win.
Yeah, the teams that are falling into that mold now, another team like the Angels, I would say the National League version has been the Phillies, where they've got a lot of hitters, overpaying a lot. Now they're
by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't want to hear any more from the Met fan that the Mets don't want to trade away any of their farmhand pieces. Because honestly, what are they? What are the guys that are untouchable so far? I've looked at some of these guys that are untouchable. Are they really hitting in single A, double A, and triple A? There might be one guy. There might be one guy that out of all those guys that everybody says untouchable. The Yankees said that Garcia is untouchable. Tell me what and Florial. Look where those guys are. The guy and the guys that aren't untouchable, Gil, he's the one that's going to be the dominant pitcher. Mm-hmm. Who would have figured that one out?
That was the Mets in 2014. Everyone was hyping up Rafael Montero, and Jacob deGrom became that.
Who would have figured that one out? I mean, seriously, you just don't know with the rookies and young players and obviously future, what do they call them? Prospects. Okay. So again, you're not going to hit on all of them. You're not going to make the right decision. What you do is you just got to hope that these guys develop.
And the problem is the Mets have had so much trouble managing injuries, no matter how durable this player was or has been in the past or is currently. They don't know how to develop them right. And that's why these pitchers have had trouble staying healthy. The young, promising pitchers they had, the Harvey, Syndergaard, Matz, guys like that were good prospects. They've had trouble staying healthy, and now they can't develop. And sometimes they're too velocity driven, which I think is a big reason that's been hurt by them. Jacob deGrom is the only one that he can do a bunch of other things. Now he improved his velocity this year, and look what happens. He gets hurt. Mm-hmm. So that kind of thing, I think that mindset, they have to realize there has to be some level of balance. Now, again, there are certain teams that are always going to be a balance where they're more analytic driven or they're not. There's going to be pitchers that develop differently, bullpen strategies. the Mets have to adapt to some certain things. Now, Sandy Alderson being an analytic guy helps that to an extent, but even so, they've been feuding now with Cohen. I think in terms of the trades they make, that's why they were so passive at the deadline outside of Baez. And I think they have to find a middle ground that works, because the teams that are successful and stable right now, whether they're winning or not, at least the teams that are consistently stable are finding that middle ground with developing players, replenishing players nicely.
I will say this, where the Mets are going, it's not in a good place. And if you're a Met fan and you're going to make excuses for them, which I've heard enough. We had Josh on the show for a significant amount of time on the Weekend Crunch. And I listened to Josh all season long telling me that the Mets are going to do this, the Mets are going to do that. They're a contender. They're this, they're that. I should be optimistic about this season. I don't hear Josh anymore speaking. I don't hear his father speaking, even though he said, Josh will tell you that his father didn't think that the Mets were any good. Meanwhile, at one point when we were at his house, I think the Mets, his father was telling me, with that pitching staff, they can win with it. So that pitching staff has become a bust. Yeah. It's been a bust. Syndergaard has not come back. I am not re-signing Syndergaard next year. I don't care how much Steve Cohen has. I am not re-signing Noah Syndergaard when he hasn't stepped on a field in 2 years. Right. 2 years.
And it's very velocity driven.
Yes. And then you look at Stroman. Stroman, who you gave him the extension, not extension, you gave him the arbitration, which was $14 million. Are you going to pay Stroman? He's been okay this year. Are you going to pay Stroman $25 million?
He's going to ask for at least 20 because of the strong start.
Are you going to give him that? I'm not giving him that. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm worried about him, not as an overall pitcher stuff-wise, because he's actually more...
So what is your guarantees as your starting pitcher next year? Jacob deGrom? Really?
Yeah, there's a lot.
What is yours? Moving into next year? So what are they going to do in the offseason? Is Steve Cohen going to open up his pockets again? And I'm going to go after Max Scherzer. I'm going to make a trade and pay Steven Strasburg. Or I'm going to do.
You want another injury-riddled guy to the
Just
Mets.
saying. I'm just bringing up players that are stars that he's going to bring in because he thinks that's going to win. Speedy, you know what your problem is? I'm just bringing up names. I'm not saying Matthew Stafford's going to be traded to the Mets. I'm saying that. Knowing Steve Cohen is he's going to try to put a Band-Aid on this. You can't put a Band-Aid on this. The Yankees did it forever, and it doesn't work. It doesn't. And by the way, Sandy Alderson isn't Brian Cashman. Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. Brian Cashman, the Yankees were out on the dust, okay? There was no way the Yankees are making the playoffs. They were 2 games over 500 going into the second half of the season. They're now 21 games over 500. And he made 2 trades. And then finally players started to get healthy. That's Brian Cashman, okay? All those Yankee fans, get rid of him. It's lost and by. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, tell me right now, because Brian Cashman, if the Yankees make the playoffs, Brian Cashman is going to be GM of the year off of 2 trades. So what does that tell you? You know, when you lose something's great. Once you lose something, you don't realize that it's great until it's gone.
Yeah.
Look at the Yankees. They haven't won it since Derek Jeter retired. Alex Rodriguez retired. All these guys, all these great players. CC Sabathia retired. Andy Pettitte retired. They haven't won. And it doesn't matter how good Garrett Cole is. And he's unbelievable. 14-7 with a 2.73 ERA and his whip under one. I mean, how many pitchers can pitch like that? 1, 2 pitchers have
there are a lot of Yankee fans bashing the contract, so.
Bashing the contract. Meanwhile, when was the last Yankee that was pitching had an ERA 2.73 and a whip under 1? And it was 14-7. When was that? Don't say CC Sabathia because he never got.
Maybe
Mac Mussina never had under 2.73 ERA with the Yankees. Never. Not CC Sabathia either.
You're going back to Ron Guidry then, maybe, or something like that.
I mean, there are not many Yankees that have pitched like that. So I'm just speaking the truth. So Yankee fans who take shots at Brian Cashman, take shots at Aaron Boone. Meanwhile, Aaron Boone doesn't have a GMA. He has no management experience at all. Not in the AAA, AA, single A. He was in the press box for ESPN working with Alex Rodriguez on Sunday Night Baseball.
Please get him out of the press box, too, while you're at it.
Okay? And Yankee fans wanted Alex Rodriguez over Boone. Let me tell you something.
Well, anything to get him out of the press box.
Tell me this. When was the last Yankee manager that has a better win percentage than Aaron Boone in 4 years?
Probably the guy in the 50s, I would imagine.
Okay? I guarantee you we haven't seen a Yankee, not even Joe Torre.
No, I don't think Joe Torre did either. He's probably the guy in the 50s. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Not even Joe Torre has the winning percentage. I bet you. I don't know what it is. And if it is Joe Torre, it's not Joe Girardi that everybody said that the Yankees should have kept him and gotten Aaron Boone as a bust. And I listen to Tyler all the time saying, "Oh my God, Joe Girardi is so much better." What is Joe Girardi doing with Philadelphia right now?
Now, granted, I also think that team is unmanageable.
That doesn't matter
with who they have.
What is he doing with that team right now? He managed pretty well with the Yankees when the Yankees had nobody.
Agreed. He had some great years with the Yankees. I'm saying the Phillies.
With nobody.
The Phillies bullpen is the same on paper with like a rotation of 3 different managers. Charlie Manuel retired. They've had 3 different managers. Gabe Kapler goes to San Francisco, is doing a phenomenal job over there. Joe Girardi, we know, has been great with the Yankees over the years, and nobody can manage the Phillies. That's why I'm saying the Phillies are now the new Angels of the National League. That the Angels are the same thing. They're the same thing. They have Joe Madden, one of the best managers of baseball. He can't manage that team. So I think that team's unmanageable, kind of maybe like the Angels. I don't know.
The facts are when you talk about it and you really want to attack a subject or a conversation, make sure you know what you're talking about. I love Tyler, but you can't attack something and say something just because it's your thoughts and your beliefs. Your thoughts and your beliefs could be completely wrong and a completely bust of a conversation. And I'm just sick and tired of listening to it. I just think it's wrong. And I want to see a little bit more and a little bit more understanding on what these teams do, what these coaches do and these managers do, because you can't blame it all on the manager. Baseball managers can't hit for you. They can't pitch for you. What they can do is take a guy out and put him back in. Take a guy out, put another guy back in. That's all he can do. You want to blame the manager for that? That's fine. That's why a lot of these managers don't keep their jobs. Aaron Boone, say whatever you want. The Yankees bullpen, as bad as it is right now, how are the Yankees 20 games over 500? How is that? And that's good managing. Facts. Why do the Yankees have the best ERA in baseball in the second half of the season? You think it's not managing?
Maybe it's a case of some managers are better with lesser talent. So maybe Aaron Boone now has found something that he's good at managing average younger players, whatever it is. Because the same way in 2019 with all those injuries, that was his best managerial job.
He's only been there for 3 years.
Right. They were division champion that year. Tampa was the wild card with all the injuries that they had that year. And now this year with a lot of injuries in the lineup, obviously tons of injuries in that bullpen, and their stars in their bullpen struggling as it was, he still managed it well. So maybe he's just not good at managing maybe the favorites.
What makes a good manager? Now, Tyler talks about, what's his name again? The Tampa Bay manager.
Cash, which I think is very good too.
That's fine. He's great. What did he do in the World Series last year?
He did something that worked for him a while. It just didn't work against the Dodgers.
Okay, didn't work against the Dodgers. He cost the Tampa Bay Rays a championship for the mistakes that he was making in the later innings. And nobody took shots at him. I don't hear Tyler says, I take him over a heartbeat. Really?
Yeah, he does.
Really?
No manager's going to be flawless.
I'm just saying. But he thinks that Aaron Boone's going to be flawless. When Aaron Boone loses, it's all about Aaron Boone.
Of course.
When Aaron Boone wins, Aaron Boone stinks.
That's his grudge. That's
a grudge of what? And that's something that Matty Caps had a problem with. When he thinks that he's right, he doesn't want to sit back and give somebody the due
diligence
and giving them
analyze
any kind
the
of
whole
confidence.
perspective. You don't have to blow them up either if they do end up winning. I'm not gonna say Dave Roberts is a great manager for the Dodgers just because he won a world championship. He's not the best manager in baseball just because of that. But again, not everything can be the manager's fault. Now, Cash, again, the reason he's a good manager is managing new players, different players that were unknowns with other teams. It's not just one thing or another thing that made him think. The openers, the way he does it, managing the pitchers. Like, there's other factors to it too. And Aaron Boone has done that to an extent too. Obviously, they have better pitchers in terms of the second half of the season, the way they're performing, the players, but he's also had to do that to patch the bullpen together. And you have to give him some credit in that, because the bullpen itself, with Chapman struggling, with Britton struggling before he got hurt, you have to do something with that. They're clearly not winning every game 12-9.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And that's why I think there's a lot of haters out there attacking whatever they want to attack, fans or no fans. Tyler, I asked Tyler the other day, why is Kobe better than LeBron? And he can't give me an answer. Now, my argument, I could give you a ton of reasons why I would take LeBron James over Kobe Bryant. But again, when you think that you're right, You have to come back with an opinion and a fact behind it. There is nothing. And that's why when you say that Aaron Boone is a terrible manager, Aaron Boone is a top 5 manager in baseball. It's a fact. Okay. And I could give you numbers to tell you why.
And again, some managers are just better with underdogs. I think Aaron Boone has had iffy things with top players. Maybe, okay, that's why you don't like him, but you got to give him the credit when he does well with underdogs too. These new players that break out. 2 years ago, Giovanni Urshela was a defensive substitute guy, utility guy for the Indians.
Now he's just starting the third baseman for the Yankees.
He had a great year that year, and you have to give him some credit for that. Obviously, Urshela did it himself too. Yeah. And Brian Cashman finds the gems too. You got to give him the credit too. I would probably give him the majority, I would say, but in terms of certain managers, they do better as underdogs. Look at the Braves this year. Everyone wanted Brian Snitker gone when they were struggling at the beginning of the season. Now he's done well with bringing in managing the pitching injuries, managing the bullpen a little better in the second half. It's still not good, but managing the bullpen in the second half, managing the Acuna injury. Some managers just do better as underdogs, and teams as well just do better as underdogs and when they have pressure.
I just think it's ridiculous, and I think people need to take the, if you have breaks, use them and stop attacking something that you know nothing about. Because to me, listen, I'm not always right. I can admit I'm wrong on a lot of thoughts and conversation on this show. Listen, it's my opinion. But when I state it to be my opinion, I'm stating when I listen to some people and argue about things on radio, Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Max Kellerman, they make it seem like they're factual. There's no facts behind it. It's an opinionated thought and a conversation. So if somebody comes back with something to attack what you're saying, make sure that you know how to attack it back and argue it back. Because if you don't, I am going to eat you up alive. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our show. I want to thank the BEAV for joining us. It was great having the BEAV in the studio. He really gave us some good insight, even though he barely spoke, honestly. I thought he was going to give us a little bit more, but Jeff for calling up. Brian Snow, safe trip to Chicago. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. Hopefully your family is doing well, and, may she rest in peace. She has my love and passion over here at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Brian, hopefully safe trip home too. Shout out to Jeff, Snug, all the fans, Carl, Ben, all the guys on this feed that write to us, and all the people that listen to us on all our streams. We really appreciate all the things that you guys do and support what we do here. We put a lot of time and effort into the content of this show to entertain you guys and make you guys, a part of the show, because that's what we want to do here on these Sports Loudmouths, is make you guys a piece and a voice for this show. So thank you guys. Shout out to all the family of the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, all the shows throughout the week that do their shows and put the time and effort into it. We really appreciate it. I will be going in for surgery on Wednesday. I don't know if I'm going to be here for that show, but I will definitely be here, cook a crook, for the Thursday night show. I will be in pain, but I will be here. I will be entertaining, and as entertaining as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Tyler. Hopefully everything's okay. Yeah. And listen to the Weekend Crunch. We will be live on Saturday at 7 p.m. LI News Radio. If you guys don't live out here in New York, Long Island, 71 radius, for 103.9, you can go and listen to our show at 7 p.m. on LI News Radio. That's it. Speedy, you have anything to say for
everyone that's going through whatever natural disasters are happening, both down south in Louisiana and on the West Coast. There were some wildfires over there, somewhere in California, and obviously yesterday we witnessed it in the Northeast. It seemed like rapids flooding out there. Yeah, it seemed like I was on a whitewater rafting trip with the amount of water that there was. So everybody stay safe, and wishing everybody the best in that.
That is it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back Wednesday. Until then, this is Errol Marks, Speedy Petey, and Tyler, Speedy's ass, saying good night, and we'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Setuha Karate. Located at 28 Cold Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516